Hey folks, how you doing? Dave McRae here. Well. Welcome to episode 81 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. I'm Dave McRae coming to you live from the VoiceMann Studios in Toronto, Canada. He's Tony Michael in Atlanta, Georgia. And tonight we're watching Wes Craven's The Hills Have Eyes from 1977. What was it? Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are live! Tony Michael, how the hell are you doing?
Man,
What's
I'm doing
shaking?
good. Not much shaking or bacon.
What's shaking, bacon?
Little Talladega Nights reference.
Yes. It's hard to believe we're up to 81 episodes, my friend. We're
19 to go.
19 to go before we hit the big 100.
And 100, it's going to be a 100 hours marathon stream. No.
That's
That would be insane.
Can you imagine? We're eating, we're sleeping. You know, you're
We're at
napping. I'm
hour
taking
number
over.
69, and it's not the
That's
kind
right.
that I like.
That would be wild. Oh my God, I don't think I could do that. I mean, I did 5 hours on the Billy-a-thon, you know, about 8 or 9 days ago. And at the end of that 5 hours, my voice was just toast. Oh, and I slept that night. And I'm not making this up. I don't know if it's because we're 40 now or what, but I slept that night after the Billy-a-thon like I had just ran a marathon. Like I'm lying in bed, I'm waking up like, you know, in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, I'm like, oh, I guess I'll just I'm like, what? That like a truck hit me or something. It was incredible. But for those of you, and Tony will be able to know this too, for those of you that don't do this on the regular, or you don't have and again, it does depend on your personality. I'm very, you know, I'm high octane, right? I expend a lot of energy when I do these shows or when I do, you know, McRae Live or like whatever the case is.
And then you hit a wall and you're like, done.
Yeah, because you can imagine doing that for 5 hours, and then as soon as you're done, it's like, and you just turn it off because you got to be like, you know, I'm like this, like, hey folks, how you doing? For like 5 hours. Like that night, I was like totally just like I'd ran a marathon. It was insane. Absolutely insane. Hey, before we jump into this, a reminder, of course, It's Me Billy campaign. The link is in the description. We're doing very well. We have crossed the $40,000 mark Canadian right now. We are sitting at $40,667, but you can tack on
60% over, a little over
67% right now. But if you tack on the $2,000 we raised about 7 or 8 days ago from the Billy-a-thon, that's sitting at about 42,667. We have 426 backers with 30 days left to go. Folks, like I said, sorry?
No, I was going to ask you, I don't want to speak for you, but did you say that if you get to 75 that you think you can, not that you want to stop there, but you think you can still do the production?
Well, yeah, I think closer to 80, 85 would be ideal.
Give you that cushion. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
So again, folks, anything you can spare would be amazing. Remember, if you don't want to get a perk, you can donate to the campaign as well, as little as like $1 or $2. I know it may not sound like a lot, but you know, if 30 people donate, you know, $2 right there, I mean, that's $60 right there. That's not too bad. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I mean, anything helps. You can donate. Donations are not associated with perks, but certainly you have the ability to donate as well. It would be amazing. This might be a little overzealous, but we're at 40,667. It'd be amazing if we could get to 41,000 by the end of this show. That'd be amazing. It's a few $100, but who knows? Maybe a bunch of people will tune in and buy some perks and, you know, send in a couple of bucks or something. That would be amazing. But 30 days to go. Spread the word. I'll be talking about it a lot this month. Bruce and I are thinking about doing another Billy-a-thon. And of course, Tony and I are also doing the Two Dudes double feature a thon, so to speak, at the end of the month as well. And all super chats from that will go to the campaign too. So don't forget, link in the description. We are excited, and shout out, of course, to Cecil Laird and the fine folks over over at the Horror Channel, who just posted their teaser reaction and thoughts to the It's Me, Billy Indiegogo teaser today. Cool. They shot it a couple of weeks ago, but they posted today. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. You're fantastic. You're fantastic. It's amazing. It's great. Every time I say that word, I think of Donald Trump now. It's unbelievable. Anyway, yeah. So now that that's out of the way, Tony, how excited are you to watch this movie tonight?
I'm super excited. This is probably, I would put it in the fourth on my list of Craven films. Scream, Nightmare, Last House, and then Hills Have Eyes. I mean, think about that. This one dude, this one director, Scream, Nightmare on Elm Street, Last House on the left, Hills Have Eyes, came from this one dude. It's why true. I look up to the man. I admire everything Wes Craven did for the genre. I aspire to that, every time, I do my own stuff. And this is a good flick. This whole month, I'm looking forward to it because we're digging deep with, this callback, for August and doing 70s horror cult classic films. And this is one of them, it is. It's a cult classic. It's another Dee Wallace movie. I didn't realize that, or I didn't realize it when we were putting it together that we watched Rob Zombie's Halloween last week, and she's in that, and she's in this flick as well too. And I was thinking about that today. I was like, I still don't view her as a scream queen, more of like a scream mom. You know what I mean? She's got that like motherly, protective instinct. You know what I mean? Versus the traditional scream queen, but nonetheless very respected in the genre with fans. You gotta love sure. And she looks great in this. She looks really good in this.
I feel like I say this a lot whenever we watch these older films, but I guess it's true. I haven't seen this movie in a while. It's been a while since I've seen it. That's the words I always seem to say, but it's true. I'm not going to say that I saw it last week when I didn't. I remember bits and pieces of it, but it has been a bit. I did, of course, see the 2006 remake. I quite enjoyed that. The
remake was good. We'll have to do that one night. I will say that it was one of the few Chainsaw Massacre remake, one of the few remakes that was done in that run that I walked out going, not bad. It's pretty good.
Bad. Yeah. I agree. But you're right. My favorite Wes Craven movie, of course, is the first Elm Street. Then of course, followed by Scream. But closely behind, the rarely talked about, underrated, The People Under the Stairs. I quite like that movie. That's number 5 for me.
Too. I like that movie.
Yeah, I like that movie too.
Shocker, he did Shocker too, right?
He did do Shocker.
Yeah, Shocker's it's good, but People Under Stairs is a very underrated film and a good film, very good film. And this is a great film. Yeah, I only give Scream the edge because of Nev. That's it. I like Heather and all, but it's Nev.
I got you. It's Nev Campbell. It's Nev Campbell. Good Canadian. From this area, actually, she's from the GTA here. I think she's from Guelph, if I'm not mistaken, and that's just a little smaller city, just kind of about, I don't know, 40 minutes from here.
Speaking of Nev, and I know a lot of you who are watching this tonight were messaging me the We Got This Cover article about Nev signing. Here's my thing with We Got This Cover. Okay,
they rarely have anything covered.
Right. Exactly. When Courtney was announced, and it was announced by every media outlet, okay, I knew Courtney, all right, she's coming back. Okay. That hasn't been, I'm pretty confident Nev Campbell's coming back, but We Got This Cover jumped the gun on it, and I don't take their reporting, or whatever you want to call it. I don't call it reporting. I call it more like gossip. I don't really take it to heart. So I'm confident she's coming, but we haven't gotten the full proper announcement like we did with Courtney Cox.
Yeah, look, I don't know anybody that works for We Got This Covered. I don't. I have seen a lot of their articles. The presentation of their articles and their headlines strike me as, like you said, very gossipy, very clickbaity.
Right.
But, that doesn't mean, again, Hitler I'm not comparing them to Hitler. I'm going to the extreme to make a point. Okay? I'm going to the extreme to make a point. If Hitler says 2 times 2 is 4, he's not wrong. He's right. He's an awful guy. He's one of the worst people in the history of human beings, but he's right. 2 times 2 is 4. So the point I'm making is that even We Got This Covered can be right about certain things from time to time. We're talking generally speaking, and I find that they are more so in the business of creating news than necessarily covering it, although isn't that sort of the news outlets nowadays? But
pretty much nowadays, yeah.
I just find that, a lot of it is recycled information that's already out there, stuff that's been out there for a very long time that was, you know, I wonder how much news We Got This Covered really breaks. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many online sources nowadays, and, you know, that, you know, once something breaks, everybody's connected, so the other people pick it up and run with it. Now, the good people will write at the bottom of their article, you know, originally written by, you know, or found through Bloody Disgusting, or like whatever the case is. They'll put the source. They won't pretend that they've broken the story. You know, they'll put the source, and there's nothing wrong with that. We Got This Covered. I mean, you know, there's so many things they post, and I'm just like, what the hell is this? I don't even. Or they'll post hey, did you know that Robert Englund's coming back? And you look at the article they post, it's from like 4 years ago, and I'm thinking, I don't even bother with We Got This Covered, and that's why I said if there's one thing I've learned, it's We Got This Covered rarely has anything covered. It just seems like they're very headliney. You know what I mean? And
oh no, it's true. I mean, you look at that, and
like We Got This Covered didn't break the Courtney Cox.
No, everybody was breaking that, you know, because, you know, if there's something that's worthy to talk about right now, people are all over that like flies on shit, you know, because there's just nothing else to talk about right now.
Right.
And if Nev had made the announcement, or whoever, her publicist, made the announcement that she signed on, everybody would have been talking about that. And honestly, I think the way they're doing this is maybe just so that, you know, spreading it out a little bit, you know, because Arquette was first announced, and there's a few weeks went by, and now Courtney's announced. Sure. You know, maybe a couple more weeks from now, Nev will get announced, and she'll have her moment. Everybody will get excited, you know. Yeah,
I can tell you that whenever whether it's, you know, the Hollywood Reporter, Variety, whoever breaks a story and says that, you know, Courtney Cox is officially coming back to Scream, that has been in the works for weeks, if not, you know, the better part of maybe a month or two. That it's not, you know, that kind of information doesn't release, you know, once the dotted line is signed. I mean, that information is there are very specific, you know, they're very specific on when this information is released for very specific reasons. And I can tell you right now, if a couple of weeks from now, or whenever from now, that Nev Campbell does decide to come back, or is announced as coming back, I can tell you right now, it's probably a done deal. Right. It's probably a done deal right this second, but you may not find out about it until, I don't know, September 3rd or something. Who knows, right? Because these things are not done in a vacuum like that. I mean, it's very, you know, they're very sort of, yeah, it's not like, hey, it's done, and then all of a sudden they go, well, let's go tell Bloody Disgusting now. No, it's that stuff's, yeah. Anyway, I could go on, but I don't want to take up too much time here. But yes, I agree with what you're saying, and We Got This Covered. Yeah, I just, you know, it's a great name for a site. We Got This Covered. They're very good with their SEO and. But I mean, please, for the love, sources, and you will find that We Got This Covered. The reason why I make the joke is We Got This Covered rarely has anything covered, is that We Got This Covered is rarely breaking anything. Right. You know, they're not, and I'm not saying that once in a blue moon they don't. I mean, I'm sure Bob's movie blog can be right from time to time too. But, you know,
and of course, 5 weeks from now or whatever, when it's announced, they'll be writing up a follow-up. We were the first ones to announce it.
Well, yeah, but it's about probability. I mean, you know, you take a stab.
Right. Everybody can hit a hole in one. You know what I mean?
Well, sure, of course, yeah, exactly. So it's not. It doesn't. And it's not personal. I don't know anybody that works for them, but they're very clickbaity and they run with the headlines.
The old saying, even a dog's ass can shine on a rainy day.
Well, there you go. I've never heard that one before. Never heard that one before. But anyway, so yeah, send in your super chats. Of course, Tony and I will get to them at the end of the movie. But feel free to send them in now so they pile on up and we can knock them out of the park when it's time to watch the movie, or after the movie, I should say, when the movie is done. Tony, you ready to do this?
I am ready. Guys, we are at the old school. Well, I'm watching it on iTunes. Dave's watching it on Shudder. It's pretty much the same. We won't have the same problem like we did last week with Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween. And we're at the old school VRI as it's about to come in and go right into the movie.
That's right. So let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. So yeah, I'm paused at VRI, a Vanguard release. Here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Looking forward to this. Been years, probably
This
since
is
the
one
90s.
I watch this every few years. It's not heavy in my rotation, but I do go back to it periodically.
A film by
One
Wes
of the things
Craven.
I will say that I love about
Hills Have
this
Eyes.
and I miss is this is the aesthetic look of film. Like I love the grittiness and the color tone of this whole movie.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
miss that with movies nowadays
Yeah, yeah.
because everything's digital. And even when
right.
you try to do the digital film look, don't look right.
This well, and it's old too. I mean, they were shooting. I wonder if this was shot on 35 or if it was 16. I wonder.
And it even has like I always forget
Could have
about
been
that
16.
like the not
Probably
banjo,
35.
but what is it? What's that instrument that it was playing that came in? Then you had to heard the loud sound effect.
The
Banjo. What the hell was that?
ukulele.
Something like that. But it has that like Texas Chainsaw Massacre type not ambient sound effect, but just sound that it's bringing here at the beginning of the film, just like you would hear in the original.
It sounds like a banjo. It could be a banjo.
Could be written in. Oh, he wrote it. I didn't know he wrote it.
it.
I knew he directed it.
That Wes Craven.
God damn that dude, man.
He seems like a quiet, nice little guy. He's a
like this, like
fucking
the opening shots of the.
Oh, it's
this
great.
feels like Georgia. It feels like where I was driving around this past weekend.
This is great. Love the
graininess, the grit, that like kind of green, yellow, saturated color tone.
Yep,
love that shit.
It's good
little
stuff.
Brown in there where it's
an old movie too, right?
Blue truck is popping.
It's an old movie, so it's got that old gritty 70s Texas Chainsaw vibe to it.
Yeah. Well, they're about what, 3 years apart?
I was just going to say, I wonder if Craven was inspired by the Texas Chainsaw Massacre to write something similar? in the sense of, out in the boonies, trailer trash.
I've always said this about 70s horror films versus to like 80s. In the 70s, it was very grit, very dirty. Where in the 80s, we got into more like okay, we're going to outdo each other with special effects and gags and kills and shit like that, which is nothing wrong with that. It was a fun era, a fun decade of movies in the 80s. But if you look at a lot of 70s horror films like Last House and like Hills Have Eyes and Chainsaw, there's just a grittiness to it that I like. And I think that, in the genre itself, they were, until Carpenter came along with Halloween, I think up till this point, I think the genre was trying to find its identity.
Right. Oh, you're 100% correct. There was definitely a discovery. Horror was evolving at this stage.
It was.
In the 70s, trying to find what exactly horror was.
Yeah, because you didn't have like a slasher genre at this point.
No,
in fact, the only slasher film would have been what? Chainsaw, right? And Black Christmas.
It was evolving at this point. It was evolving.
And I think this was his second film, because I know Last House was his first.
Last House was his first. This might have been his
second.
second.
Movie in between this that he did?
Can't remember.
Or did he do Last House, this, and then didn't he try to get into something else before Nightmare? He was trying to do something, and then,
Well, there was a few before Nightmare, but yeah. I'll be the state trooper. That was totally ADR. I love it. This whole thing here is ADR. His back, and you just hear him talking. That's great.
Oh yeah.
Look fucking this way guy's dressed. Looks like he came from 2020. The way this guy's dressed, golf shirt, pair of jeans. Right? He literally looks like he's from this decade. Gotta have the German or the dogs, not German shepherds.
A Youngie, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. There she is.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. I like
see what I mean? She's got that motherly. She's got the baby in her arms. I can't view her as a scream queen. Just more
I hear you.
Mom.
I love the name too. The Hills Have Eyes. It's just such a great name. It's spooky.
And this young blonde here next to Dee Wallace, she looks like a girl today, because the 70s style and look is, it's in fashion again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. A lot of this sounds ADR'd, actually.
Yeah.
It may have been because of where they were.
Where they were. You can see a little bit of wind blowing too,
Yeah.
so maybe the audio wasn't clean.
Yeah.
See the guy's hair, you know?
Yeah.
Of course, remember too, this is 77, so audio wasn't like it is today.
No, it's true. And it's a low budget film.
Very low budget. What's the budget on this? I don't even think it was $1 million.
No, probably not.
I bet you $500,000.
See, that sounds like it's in the same space. The way this old lady's talking here. Sounds like it was recorded in that environment.
$230,000.
230,000. I love that they just showed this fighter jet. I wonder if that was planned or if someone just like, oh shit, fuck, there's a fighter jet there. Shoot it, shoot it, shoot it.
Probably. They were probably somewhere out near Area 51 or something. Where is this film?
I don't know. It was probably that. Like how in the original Halloween when Dr. Loomis is on the telephone.
Oh, with the train. Yeah.
Goes by. That was not planned.
No. That was just dumb luck.
Dumb luck. You kidding? You don't have the budget to plan that shit.
No. And I say this over and over again, and you have too, you know, many times. You don't need, you know, just seeing that 230,000 for this. Chainsaw Massacre was like 120,000. Halloween, we know, was 325,000. I mean, think about it. I know Last House was barely the same amount as well too.
Black Christmas was about 600.
Yeah, I mean, these are all under $1 million, and these are iconic cult films, you know, within the genre.
Yep.
Oh, that's so ADR.
Yeah, a lot of it is.
Them shorts with them high sock stripes.
Tell you, man, I'm going to wear those shorts. I'm going to wear those shorts, tight shorts like that.
You should. You so should.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing it. Doing it.
I should get Dave on a photo shoot and dress him up like that as a victim for the period, like Michael.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I love that. Yeah, looks like just some sort of like Navy SEAL out there in camouflage or something runs behind one of the sheds. That's what it kind of looks like at first. I love the way. Of course, they've been there. How long have they been there? I mean, the sun's going down. They must have been there for a while.
That was a weird cut because the sun was a lot brighter, and then I just noticed that too. I'm like, wait, the sun's setting now. Like, how long were they out there for?
Then again, there is that cut in Halloween too. When
when they're driving, it's daylight out, and all of a sudden now it's sunset.
Yeah, it's like
how
this.
How far was this drive from Laurie getting picked up to the Wallace and Doyle house?
Exactly. But you know what's so funny about things like that? People, have often asked me, does that bother you? And I'm like, well, I mean, look, from a technical standpoint, should there be more of a fluid transition? Yes. Is it a mistake? Well, from a certain point of view, perhaps it's a continuity mistake.
It's a farm town. Farm towns are relatively big.
Right.
That's a little too exaggerated.
The thing that allows you to look past it is when everything else is so strong.
Right.
When the rest of the movie is so incredibly strong, you can overlook certain faults that may be, problematic under any other. I mean, if the movie was weak or just, it was okay, you would notice those things or you'd harp on those things a bit more. But when that is really almost the only thing you can find wrong with something, and now all of a sudden it's back to like high noon.
Daylight. Yeah, I know.
It's high noon. Hey, you know what? When you're making low budget shit, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Craven was not inspired by the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Maybe somebody in the chat that knows would.
The young girl here, she looks like
the blonde. The little girl.
Yeah.
The blonde.
Like, what's her name from All in the Family? Her daughter.
She does.
Doesn't she?
Does. I wonder if it is her. No.
Is that Sally Struthers?
No. I don't think so.
What's her name? Man, what was that actress's name?
does look, you're right. She does kind of look like her. And it would have been the same time period.
Jeez, I can't think of her name now. Rob Reiner, Carol O'Connor, Gene Stapleton.
Was it Sally Struthers?
What the hell is that blonde girl's name? Chat room will tell me.
Yeah.
It's the family truckster.
Oh no, you're right. It is. It's Sally Struthers. You were right.
Is this Sally Struthers in the movie?
You were right. I was wrong. Let me check. That'd be wild if it is. No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not. But you're right. It does look like her.
Looks like her a little bit.
It does look like her. Yes. I just fucking missed that. What happened? Oh, okay. The car just went off the road.
Truckster's going off road.
That's right.
Crashed.
Holiday Road. Oh! We were really in tune there.
We should take it on the road.
We fucking should take it on the road. You're right. Oh, that's right. And this is where the camper is. This is where they have to fucking kind of just hang out.
We should do the original Vacation one night. That'd be fun. I
fucking love that movie. I almost did it the other night for my Patreon Saturday movie night. It came down to, there were 6 movies, and it came down to Beverly Hills Cop and Vacation, and Beverly Hills Cop just edged out Vacation by 1 vote. Look at this guy. He's clearly like a gymnast or something.
Oh, the cartwheel guy?
Yeah, the guy that just did that. Timestamp. We should be in and around the same spot. We're
about there.
I'm at 12 minutes exactly.
And I'm at 11:44, but we're at the same spot, so it's just probably,
So this guy is clearly racist. This character. I'm not saying that the actor is, but the guy was like, is clearly racist.
He's not saying G-O-D, he's saying got G-O-T. God
well,
damn.
Yeah, and he said the N-word here a couple of seconds ago.
Oh yeah, no, you won't see that nowadays in 2020. A white dude saying that in a movie?
No, can't do it. You can't. And what's unfortunate about that too is that if there's a character, like again, that's where context comes in, right? I mean, if you're playing like a historical figure or even a character that is racist.
Well, no, I can't say it wouldn't be done because Leo did it in Django with what's his name, and he really went there with it.
What year was Django?
The 2012.
Yeah, that's just before this whole
craziness.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that 12, 14, I want to say, in that 2 year time
but that's a good example of context. You know what I mean? And it's anyway.
Oh, 2011.
2011?
So, yeah, there you go.
Well,
so it's almost, damn, that movie's almost 10 years old.
Yeah.
Damn. Time flies.
It's the sand people looking down on them. The sand people travel in, what do they say? In single file.
What does he say? You do not need to see these droids or whatever.
They aren't the droids you're looking for.
They're not the droids you're looking for.
Obi-Wan's drunk. These aren't the droids you're throws up right there in the
drawing his stuff in the sand.
Yeah.
Wes does a good job of building up the uneasiness of the film.
Yeah, he does. He does. And
it's not a super slow burn, but it's not super fast either.
No, but it's I don't know. I don't want to quite say it's exploitation, but it's like Last House on the Left, where it's got things in it that are supposed to make you feel uncomfortable and shock
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And for those of you that don't know, I'm sure a lot of the people watching do, but Wes Craven never watched horror movies in his life. He rarely watched movies growing up. He came from a very religious family, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And Wes was a very quiet, unassuming sort of guy. So it was very ironic that he became one of the most profound horror directors of our time, and doing movies like Last House, which is very, it's a rape movie for all intents and not quite, but sort of, and it's got that angle to it to a degree. And then of course you have this movie and Elm Street and it's just funny. I mean, it would be like you're you're not quite to this degree, but imagine like, your pastor, or your priest at your local church putting together something like this. You'd be like, the fuck? Holy shit. You know what I mean? So,
but you find that very common with a lot of people. My upbringing was sort of similar. My mother was a little bit more liberal in letting us do things, and I don't mean liberal as far as political views, but I'm just saying just letting us do things. And whatever. My dad would never, he would get pissed finding out that I was watching this stuff as a young kid. He did not want me to watch this stuff at all. So when my parents divorced and we were with my father on the weekends, dude, no way I could ever watch any of these films with him. He just wouldn't have it.
Wouldn't have it.
Not at all. But I find that when you do keep your child, closed off to a lot of this stuff, they end up just like unleashing it, creatively as they become adults because they were so kept away from it.
That's right. I think, what's her face here just killed the
tarantula.
Wallace just killed the spider. I think that couch, the pattern on that couch. I think we had that couch.
I think everybody had that couch.
It's true. When you watch, dude, there's a lot of things
on that couch.
There is a lot of stuff in Stranger Things. A lot of the set design that I look at, like chandeliers, tables, chairs.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm like, yep. That was my kitchen. That was my bedroom. That's right.
Gosh, she even sounds like her too. It's crazy.
She does.
When she spoke there, and you hear her, it does.
She does. No, it's not her. Not that I can see on IMDb. I go to IMDb. I go to 1977. The only thing that Struthers did in 77 was a TV movie called Intimate Strangers.
Oh.
And Fred Flintstone and Friends. She was the voice on, I guess, a short-lived Fred Flintstone and Friends, and that's it from 77. And
besides
she did
the TV show, right?
Right, All in the Family from 71 to 78.
God, that's a show that couldn't go on today.
No. I'm surprised it's not banned.
I have it all. I have it all on DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Smith Grove. Wes would not be relevant without horror. And I think he knew that because I know he had, like I said, I know he had attempted to get away from it after he did Last House in Hills. He didn't want to be that guy. In fact, didn't he turn down doing Nightmare initially? He didn't want to do it?
Possibly. Well, no, he wrote it. So, I mean...
what was the film that he didn't want to do? There was a movie, there was a horror film in between before doing Nightmare then that he didn't want to do, that he was getting presented with all these horror films too, but he didn't want to be known for that guy.
Yeah.
I remember him saying that in a documentary, and it was definitely before doing Nightmare.
And I can understand that because, I mean, listen, I'm about to embark on my first, although again, it's a short film. It's Me, Billy will be professionally produced. But even I mean, as much as I love the horror genre and I consider myself a horror guy, there's definitely horror ideas I have that I want to flex beyond It's Me, Billy, and, whatever comes from that. But certainly as a creative type, and I think most creatives are like this, you're probably like this too, that you do have other ideas. Like there are certain stories and certain things that are not horror, that are drama or sci-fi, or things that you want to do, that you want to tell, you want to express, you want to write, because you're a creative person. You're not just a horror person. But horror is usually a genre that many up-and-coming filmmakers earlier in their careers cut their teeth on. I might
be a little different on that. I think I love the genre too much that I think I would be okay with doing only just horror. I mean, yeah, there's other things that I could do, but I know that if I got the reins to do horror, it would definitely be my strength because I know the genre.
Well, sure. And I think it was their strength too, but, and that's fair. And that's fair. I know for myself, there's other stories and other ideas I've had that I would love to tell, because if there's one thing that I think having good horror sensibilities is important, and I think there are directors that have better horror sensibilities than others. But if you're a talented filmmaker, you should be able to cross genres and tell different stories. The problem is the expectation from the audience and whether or not they will be able to give you that opportunity, and a studio or a producer to give you that opportunity to tell them. And that doesn't mean that the movies that Wes told or that he directed that were not horror were great. I'm not saying that, but certainly I can understand that, you know.
Yeah.
John Carpenter was the same way.
Sure.
Well, you know,
what's funny is that after we watched Halloween last week, this is weird. This is how in sync Dave and I are. He doesn't even know this because I'm telling him this now for the first time. I don't know why I thought it or said it, but after we didn't talk, you know, we weren't like talking to each other anymore. And I like somehow just said to myself, I said, you know, I think he'll appreciate it, but I think the gore will be like, for Terrifier. And then when I saw your review, I'm like, I knew it, just because like you can kind of pick up on like just certain things, and I can tell where you're at now with your age. You've kind of graduated from that gratuitous type gore where I'm still immature and I love that shit. You know what I mean? Like, but I like it. Like I was like, it was weird, like just you know, just listening to you talk, you know, over the last like month or two about just like the gore and things like that and things that you're not into as you are. And I thought to myself after we did that stream, I said, I think he'll appreciate what they did, but I don't think he's going to be totally on board with the gore. And sure enough, when I heard your review, that's where you were at.
Yeah, just to let people know, we're at I'm at 21 minutes 50 seconds here.
The dog is about to get it.
The dog has just got it on my end, and the guy is just kind of like, "What the fuck's going on?" And now the grandma or the mom or they're all like, "Hey, where are you? What's going on?" I love the terrain here too, and the jagged edges.
So I'm wondering, maybe was Carpenter's inspiration to kill what's his Buster? Right? Is that the dog's name?
Lindsay's Lester.
Dog? Lester. The German Shepherd in Halloween. Was that inspired by Hills Have Eyes? Because that was a German Shepherd that gets it here. Except in Carpenter's Halloween, he only gets choked out. Here, you're going to see something pretty graphic. That
it's true.
PETA would be all over this shit today, man, if they saw this in a movie.
I'm going to say probably not. But with me, with Terrifier, if I could respond to that, just Terrifier is very well done. Especially for the money they had and the effects they put together. It knows exactly what it is. It makes no apologies for it. It's supposed to be that kind of movie. And I knew that going into it. So I had to settle in and know that I'm watching this kind of a movie. Yeah, that's great. That's great effects there.
Simple.
The dog being dead and shit. And here comes the guy coming out of the fucking... Yeah. And I love we don't even see him. So for me with Terrifier, it's a kind of thing where it's, I can appreciate a movie like that every once in a while, but it's not, I've just, you know, as I've gotten older, I need more, I've matured. And I don't say that to suggest that look, it's all relative. I'm not saying that if you like that kind of horror.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that was
It was great. It probably fell on some mats. I don't mean to suggest that if you like that kind of horror or that's all you like, that you are immature or juvenile. What I mean is that for me, I've grown past that, where I need to be challenged more psychologically. I need to feel really creeped out and eerie when I'm watching a film, and that's me. Yeah. So I much prefer the nuance of psychological horror and thrillers now, like a Hereditary, an Exorcist, you know, The Others, Shutter Island. You know, but every now and then I do, you know, I can watch a Terrifier, but I would never, in my Rolodex of horror movies, I would never have like it plastered with all these, you know, exploitation, crazy gore fest movies. It's just not, I don't know. I mean, like I said, if I was younger, maybe, but now I'm just sort of beyond that. But I can appreciate Terrifier for what it is, because you have to put it in context. You have to judge it for what it is, because it's not supposed to be Shutter Island. It's not supposed to be, you know, The Others or The Exorcist. It is a exploitation, gratuitous gore, slice 'em, dice 'em, you know, B-movie gore fest. That's what it's supposed to be. So it would be unfair for me to go, well, that's shit. Well, no, judge it on its own merits. And if you judge it on its own merits, Terrifier is really good. They did a great job. They did a really good job. I will watch the sequel.
Are you at the radio part with D?
I'm at the part here where Dee Wallace, they're in the camper. She just looked out the window. She's coming outside now. She's closed the door.
I was listening to you, and I was also looking at their clothes. Man, I remember my mom and my grandmother dressing like that.
Oh, you remember my mom especially? Yeah, because my mom was in her 30s in the 70s.
Well, mine was in her 20s.
That's right.
Early
my
20s.
Mom was born in 44.
Had me. My mom was only 20 when she had me.
When this movie came out, my mom would have been
21. Sorry, 21.
33. Oh, that shot of the sky, too, and the sun's going down. What you gonna do now? That was kind of a weak fall. Come back here, Archie Bunker. No, I don't know. They should have got.
Wes was probably like, "Okay, I need you to fall." All right, that's the best we got. Okay.
They should have got Carol Connor to be the old guy in this.
I know, right? Archie. That would have been funny. I'm surrounded by a bunch of meatheads.
But I totally believe that the lighting here is either from maybe something from the camper or the moon.
It's very subtle lighting. Like you see a lot of darkness around it, and
it doesn't look like
that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what nighttime's supposed to look like.
Right, and especially in something like this, you want those natural shadows and high contrast, you know, to fill the background, so we as an audience don't know what's lurking in those shadows.
Right.
Now, this
Carpenter executed that great in Halloween.
Did Cunningham did in first Friday 13th.
I was going to say the first two Fridays were very well done with night shots. First Friday for sure. I mean, the second one did too.
Yeah.
Chainsaw Massacre, same thing.
First one.
Effectively did that effect very well.
Yeah. Like this is something where now it could also be a reflection of budgetary reasons too, and just having a single light source obviously minimizes your production budget. But
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with it because it works and it helps to, especially for this kind of movie out there in the middle of nowhere, the hills. You know, like you want to create a claustrophobic environment, and you know,
like this type of darkness and feel is what you should be getting in Friday the 13th Part 7. Whereas in Part 7, everything's lit up at night, and I'm like, that's not realistic.
No,
it looks like a freaking soundstage.
Yeah, it does. I don't.
Even though it's not, they filmed it out in Alabama, but it just when you light it up, when you light up that much of your night shots, it looks bad. You know,
that's right. And I don't care if it's. If I'm watching a romantic comedy or something, I don't care if it looks like you're on a soundstage.
No, agreed. Totally.
But a horror movie?
Totally.
No, horror movie is the mood, man. You got to get the mood and atmosphere. And this has got some good ones. We got a key light.
Lack of budget too also really pushes your creativity.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yeah.
And that's why I like doing my photos the way that I do and keep it very low budgety type feel, because I want to push my creativity. I don't want to rely on special effects or Photoshop or things like that. What you see, what I shoot is what you're going to get in the end result. Maybe some color tweaking, and that's about it.
Right. I think the green jacket this guy. Yes, the plaid green jacket. I didn't realize I fucking had that plaid green jacket in like the early 90s.
My grandfather had a red and
black one. Yeah,
I have a red and black one, sort of similar. The only difference is the inseam is it's like that. I don't know what you would call it. It's like it's not fur, but it's a fur looking type thing. It's like a white. You know what I mean?
Oh,
people know what I'm talking about.
He's hanging. Yes, I say. Oh, he's not. He's what the hell? Oh, okay. What was I going to say? Damn. I was going to say something. I forget now.
The old dude does kind of remind me of my grandfather. My grandfather was that kind of raspy type guy.
That's funny. I was going to say something. I totally forgot what I was going to say. Maybe it'll come back to me.
I think a lot of our grandfathers are like that, especially because like mine fought in World War II. So he's very much that Marine, gritty, tough guy, no matter what.
You know, it's funny. My grandfathers weren't. Well, I never met my dad's dad. He was killed in World War II. So my step-grandfather, which is where I get my name McRae from. I wasn't related to him, for those who don't know. But that's where I get the McRae from. He was very quiet, sort of stern, strict, didn't say much. And then my mom's dad, who, same sort of, he was kind of quiet, stern, came from a sort of the generation that kids are to be seen and not heard, sort of. sort of thing of a certain age. Damn, I wish I could remember what I was going to say.
Dalton, depending on the client that I'm doing, yeah, Photoshop does obviously come in handy. If if there's going to be some masking done, some overlays, if I'm going to be compositing shots and things like that. But it's different. That's commercial photography. So yeah, I mean, there's going to be times when I do have to use Photoshop for that purpose. But for the photos you see on Instagram, the horror stuff, the only thing I'm doing in Photoshop is just adjusting the color tone, and that's it. Everything is pretty much as how I shot the photo.
As it should be. That's what I was going to say. I remember what I was going to say now is that I noticed with a lot of, a lot of sort of amateur filmmakers who want to make movies and things like that, they will, and I understand to a degree, so I don't want to be too hard because I do get it. Like, if you don't have the money or you don't have the resources or access to equipment or the understanding of how to utilize lighting and light and shadow and all that kind of stuff, I can understand why some amateur, I don't call them filmmakers obviously, but some amateur filmmakers who you see on YouTube shooting movies with their buddies will rely heavily on color correction filters to make it look more cinematic.
Better, right.
And you don't want to do that. Color correction or color grading should only be complementary. Like and again, it depends on the level you're working at. Like for example, when we go and shoot It's Me, Billy, most of the stuff that we're going to achieve will be in camera because we'll have we have a professional DP. We'll be shooting on a professional camera. When I say professional camera, I'm talking about like a cinematic camera, like the Arri or the Red. And I
would imagine, if you guys are shooting at night shots, you're not going to keep your white balance in like the 56K range where it's going to be all warm and shit. You're going to be in that low 3, maybe 4, maybe even 2. Sometimes when I'm in a low light situation, I'll drop it down to fucking 2 on my camera to get that nice, cool tone to the photo.
Right. And what's so important is that, we also want to honor the integrity of our DP and what he's doing as well. And we don't want to take the footage that he shot and then throw all sorts of filters onto it where it looks nothing like the raw footage, because that ruins the integrity of his work. And if he's good, which he is, he'll be able to create the vision we need. Holy shit. Hang on, pause.
That's me
I'm
and
going to come back to what I'm saying.
That's me and Dave, folks, on a Saturday night wrestling.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Dave busts through the window and grabs me.
That's right. That was great. And he hit him on the head with a fucking crowbar too. That's great. So what I was going to finish by saying is that you want to take your footage into your editing software and you color correct to complement, so you just need to, adjust a little bit here or adjust, a little bit there to sort of complement. But you certainly don't want to be crunching anything too much. No. And if you take the It's Me, Billy trailer, for example, the Indiegogo teaser, very little color correction was done on that Indiegogo teaser. Very slight, and I mean like slight adjustments. Basically all of it was achieved in camera. And that's your goal. And then when you get into post, you just sort of, complement it with anything maybe you need to do. But I see a lot of people just throwing on, presets and filters and stuff. And it's like, wow, Jesus, this looks real crazy. But I get it. I get it if you don't have that, if you don't know what, I get it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. This dude here, the blonde, talking to D. Wallace, is that Cougar from Top Gun? Just younger? About 10 years younger?
I don't know. Let me check. Fucking check.
Cougar lost it. Turned in his wings.
I don't know. Cougar. Does he have a mustache?
No, Cougar in Top Gun? No, he's got the buzz cut. And yeah, Aaron Anderson said yes.
Yes. So, okay.
It is Cougar.
Well, it is. Wow. I didn't know that. I don't have to look for it now. I didn't know that.
Your boy was his back, his rear. Shawshank. Merlin. He's Merlin in Top Gun.
Right. Yes. Yep.
And then he becomes Maverick's rear after Goose dies.
Yeah.
Goose. Man, I still can't wait to see Maverick.
Yeah, it's next year now.
No.
They're totally gonna delay.
His fucking year is.
Oh, it's gone.
His fucking year is done.
It's gone. There was a thing here. This a week or so ago that said that the U.S. Canada border they feel will just be closed for the rest of the year.
Oh yeah,
and it's like,
we're whatever. Is what it is.
It's like Jesus, and it's hard. The funny thing is that I can still fly if I wanted to the U.S. There's an advisory not to, but I could if I wanted to. But there's no health insurance that'll cover me if I get sick down there. Up here, like ordinarily I have health travel insurance, which covers me, right? But there's nothing that will cover me for COVID right now because of the travel advisory. So they're like,
don't take the risk, man. Not right now.
No, I know. No, exactly. So it's like I can't, if I were to get sick, you know, there's nothing that will cover. It's just insane.
I like the creepy voice thing. I'm wondering if Craven, again, you know, maybe just got the idea from Black Christmas and just, you know, just made it even more so because the guy's voice here talking to the old man, it has a bit of a Billy-esque sound to it. You know what I mean?
A little bit. Yeah, I mean, maybe, you know, I mean, certainly even unconsciously, you know, you can be inspired even if you're not aware of it, when you, I mean, people inspire each other all the time, you know what I mean? And when you get to know people and get, like, it's like the old say, it's like that thing where Bob Clark said about how he had that conversation with John Carpenter, how John Carpenter asked him if he was ever going to do a sequel to Black Christmas. And he said, no, I want to get out of horror. I didn't get into this just to do horror. And John Carpenter, according to Bob Clark, said, well, if you did do a sequel, what would you do? And he said, well, I'd probably set it a year later on Halloween, and he's been locked up and he escapes from a mental institution on Halloween and he goes back to the town to kill, you know. And some people are like, oh my God, John Carpenter copied Bob Clark's thing. But even Bob Clark said, listen, that little idea alone doesn't make what John Carpenter did. I mean, there's a whole different story around what, you know, John did, and the mask and the music and the, you know, and everything, you know, and it wasn't Michael Myers, right? And so even Clark said that. But again, could, you know, and John Carpenter's inspiration for Michael came from the field trip he had in college to the psychiatric ward, and he saw this little boy. But could somewhere subconsciously, you know, there been some sort of, you know, inspiration? Yeah, maybe. Who knows? But it doesn't mean you're ripping anybody off. No. No, hang on a sec. Do they know where their dad is? Or their grandpa? Or their dad? Is that
I don't think so.
Are they supposed to be their mom and dad or their grandparents?
Well, the old guys, I think it's a combo. I think the older guy, depending on who the character is, like, I think that's Dee Wallace's dad, but this young girl, I think that's her grandfather.
Oh, so Dee Wallace is supposed to be the
daughter
Sally
of
Struthers' mother?
Or
it's
no,
not
right.
Sally
right.
Struthers.
Maybe it's their parents.
Die Hard Drum 84 says timestamp. Well, it all depends. I'm watching it on Shudder, and I'm at 38 minutes and 10 seconds. Tony and I are at the same spot.
Yeah. I don't watch this movie enough to remember all the details.
No, like I said, I haven't seen it since the 90s. This is great. I'm really enjoying this.
I saw it probably within the last 5 years.
Well, that's right. They had two dogs. That's right. There's Lester barking at the dog again. Or
getting on my nerves again.
Getting on my nerves again.
Lindsay!
Yeah.
Lester is barking again and getting on my nerves again.
Never mind. I guess he found a hot date.
I've seen behind the scene photo of the dog trainer and the actual photograph of that scene being made. Yeah.
So technically, there's another Michael Myers right there for that brief moment. The dog trainer.
Right. That's
dog
right.
Trainer's legs.
There's a few Michael Myers in that movie. Tommy Lee Wallace is the one who busts through the closet door. I love finding that old photo of the reverse angle because we never get to see that very often.
Right.
We only see the angle, the POV perspective of Michael coming in through the closet from Laurie's point of view, but we never actually see Michael busting the closet. So when I saw that photo, I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, for sure.
That's pretty fucking cool. Which makes me wonder, I wonder if they actually have footage of that somewhere.
They might. I don't know. You know what I do like? Again, one of the things that remakes do technically improve on is, and again, it's just because of, you know, budgetary and all that, obviously. But when you look at these hills, people will call them, right? These hick, weird cannibals living in the sticks, in the hills.
Come down here. I'll show you a lot of them. A lot of them.
But then when you look at the ones in the remake, obviously they're more, you know, they look more crazy. You know what I mean? And you know, the makeup effects are better and the practical effects are better, and you know, they don't just look like they're in costumes and things.
But this is like not even hick. This is like freaking almost like going back to like.
Well, yeah, this is clearly a yes. Oh, I love that he's putting the. Ooh, that's nice.
I mean, she's dressed like freaking. She's wearing the cloth stuff, like.
Yeah.
We did back in the heyday.
Yeah. Family truckster. Was that the old man he was nailing to the stones or whatever? Or yeah. That's what I thought.
The denim on denim look. You don't really see too much of that anymore.
You don't. You know what? I'm just gonna start wearing denim.
You do see it, but you see it in different colors. Like you'll see someone wear a white denim jacket with black denim jeans. You know what I mean? Or a denim, a light blue denim jacket that Cougar's wearing with like dark denim jeans. You don't really see the light blue on light blue.
Hashtag bring denim back.
Bring denim back.
I'm telling you, I'm wearing denim. I'm wearing light blue tight.
Dude's got the porn star mustache going too.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear light blue tight ass jeans like what's his face, George Michael. I'm gonna wear George Michael tight ass blue jeans with a blue jean jacket. I'm doing it.
But the real question is are you gonna wake me up before you go?
It depends. I'm just trying to think. What's the next line in that song? Like, go, cause I going solo, or something like that. I was gonna say it didn't work. I might do that. This guy, he's borderline emo. Look at the collar. He's got the collar up and everything.
Before it was even emo.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, he's putting in a tape.
Although back then they didn't really have emo. It was more like punk. You had like, you know, because you had like Sid Vicious with like Sex Pistols. They were on the horizon, you know, late 70s, early 80s. So, you know, the punk scene, Joan Jett, well, and what's her name there? The blonde singer that the band that they had, the punk band there. They had the, it's not goth emo look, but it was that kind of look that was beginning to emerge with people.
Okay, this guy, this porn star,
Runaways. Thank you, Hans. Thank you.
Who's attempting to kiss Dee Wallace here?
Should not be kissing her.
Should not be kissing her.
You deserve better.
I can't believe Dee. Now, obviously, it's acting. But this is, Dee Wallace has to be throwing up in her mouth here.
She's got to be like, Wes, really?
She has to be verping a little bit here. There's just no way. I mean, this guy's horrible.
The scene.
He's horrible.
I will say that she's got the open mouth kissing going.
She does. And,
of course, you know. Remember back in the day, man, the mustache look. Girls were into that.
That's true. And early '80s too. Tom Selleck. Yeah. I remember my mom really being into Tom Selleck.
So is this the sex scene?
I'm just at the scene here where the sucking the fluid out of the. That didn't sound good. Now it's the sex scene. Yeah, they're going at it. Dee Wallace is selling it. She's selling it.
Good for you, Dee.
Good for you, Dee. What a champ. I should get Dee Wallace on the show. We should get her on the channel. Be like, listen, Dee.
Kidding me? I would love that.
42 years ago, you weren't really into him, were you? Come on, he's horrible. He's horrible. I put her on the spot.
What's his name? Oh God, what's his name?
He's horrible.
The guy, the actor there, who's draining the fluid. He's the face of The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah. That's why am I blanking on it? Hang on, let me look it up.
Jesus, he's also in Smoking in the Boys Room Motley Crue video.
Yeah. It's he was in the Motley Crue video?
Yeah, Smoking in the Boys' Room.
Oh.
Michael Berry, man.
Oh. He's the.
He's in Weird Science too. I didn't know that.
Is he? I didn't know that.
That's such a good movie. With the new Tommy Doyle.
Right. The new Tommy Doyle. That's right. Michael Anthony Hall.
Would have been cool to get Paul Rudd, but I'm happy with Anthony Michael Hall.
I don't see why you would need to get Paul Rudd when he wasn't in Halloween.
No, I know. I mean, it would have been cool, but yeah, I mean, no, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with Anthony Michael Hall.
I don't know. I thought Paul Rudd was fine, but couldn't care less whether he was Halloween. I don't know.
But the thing with Paul Rudd bringing his character back as Tommy Doyle, then it's going to be like, well, how come he's not talking about Jamie? And like that's
what I mean.
Probably the version of Tommy Doyle everybody would want.
Of course. Well, and they only want him because it's not the same Tommy Doyle. I think it was appropriate to get another act. Here's your opportunity to actually find an actor that looks like it could be the same kid.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because Paul Rudd, no offense to Brian Andrews, but he's far better looking and more handsome and dashing than I mean, it's not like that kid is going to grow up to be Paul Rudd, so not that I'm not saying that Anthony Michael Hall is an ugly bastard, but I'm just saying when you look at Anthony Michael Hall and you look at a young Brian Andrews, you're like, oh, I can totally believe that. I can totally buy that. Not a big deal at the end of the day. There's many examples in movies where they have older actors who don't look like, or you have actors who are supposed to be related that don't really look like they're related. But I think whenever there's an opportunity to create that believability, I think that's good. And there would be and you're not reliant on getting Paul Rudd. I'd be like, there's no reason to, other than just to go, oh look, it's fan service. But he was in a movie that is no longer canon, so. I love this guy's head and the way his head is shaped. It just looks so weird. Imagine seeing him just like, you look at it. I just love it. Love it. He's a weird looking dude.
Oh, he's great for the character. Great casting. Great casting.
Yeah. It looks like if he spoke, I don't know if he speaks, I can't remember. But if you said hi and he said hi back, it looks like he'd go, hi, hi, how are you? It's kind of what it looks like how you'd speak, huh? Am I wrong? Hey, what's going on? Almost like a sloth type character.
Sloth type character.
Yeah. Just not quite as sloth. Now, Sloth would have been great in this movie. A guy that looked like Sloth? Oh.
What do you want? I'm trying to get my groove on.
And a guy that size, like Sloth, he would have been great in this.
Damn, those Coke cans look very modern.
They do.
Don't they? Well, except for the A&W, which is what I'm drinking. A&W.
You're drinking A&W? Hey. A&W. Remember the A&W root beer bear? Bum, ba bum, ba bum, ba bum, bum, ba 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 bum.
Man, that's a deep cut.
Ba bum, bum. It is deep. I went deep there.
That's what she said.
Give me your keys, please.
In about 5 years, D would be making arguably one of the greatest movies of all time.
Who knew?
E.T.
Yep, who knew? One of the most, pop culture, cinematic history.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. At least his mustache is probably. If it's not real, at least it looks better than that last scene.
This dude's mustache needs to be in the Smithsonian's. Okay?
Well, no, you know whose mustache needs to be in the Smithsonian, and it wasn't even a real mustache, is that final shot of that cop in Sleepaway Camp when he comes out.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's terrible. Man, it's bad.
All right, this is when he finds out that shit's hitting the fan. Yeah.
It sucks we all get old, isn't it? Just looking at Dee Wallace there, youthful, beautiful.
Beautiful blue eyes.
You look at, and even these guys, they're young guys.
Too.
We're all going to get ancient. Old, ancient, decrepit. Hey! Hey folks, how you doing? My name's Dave McRae.
That's right. In about 60, well, that'll put us to 100.
60
so
years.
About 50 years, maybe we'll be in our 90s. We'll still be at 40 years. No, I'll still be here in my 90s. I'm pushing for 100.
I don't think I will be one of those guys.
We can be two old dudes in some bullshit.
Right. Two wrinkly dudes and some bullshit.
Two grumpy old men and some bullshit.
There you go. I don't think I'm going to be one of those guys, those old men that's like, hey, let's go. It's so funny. There are some men who are in their 70s that are like, how are you? And it's like, holy. And then there are some guys in their 70s who are like, hey, what's up? I think I'll be like that guy because my dad was 69 when he died and he just sounded like me. So I don't think over the next 10 years he would have been like, oh, hello, Dave. He just would have sounded normal. Oh, this guy's, ow! Oh, the burning. Oh, there's a movie we got to do, The Burning. Yeah, the fire. Woo!
I mean, again, we're desensitized to this stuff now, but man,
Yes.
back in 1977,
That's what I'm saying.
that had to freak people out, man.
Yes. Well, it's like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, That's what I always tell people is for those of you that have not seen these movies or maybe you're a bit younger, to always remember the context for which you're watching it in.
And again, this is disturbing scare, but not gory scare.
That's right. And I know I've said this 1,000 times, but it bears repeating whenever I have a chance to stress it is, you have to think of the first Psycho movie and remember that it was the first North American film at the very least where an audience ever saw a toilet flush. That's where you were or we were as a society. And now think of everything else you saw in that movie and how that affected the audience. I mean, it's crazy stuff, man. Exorcist 2. Yeah, you wait till you get to be a man. I like the way he said that. You wait till you get to be a man. He's fucking living.
His pointed teeth and shit, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely Wes was very much inspired by Chainsaw Massacre because you're definitely getting a Chainsaw Massacre vibe with this movie, which nothing wrong with it because I don't feel like I'm watching a knockoff film. It's his own vision of that type of disturbing type film.
Yeah, and looking at the
again,
baby.
It goes back to what I've said all along about with horror films. You don't need a lot of blood to scare you and to get under your skin like this movie does.
Man.
Because he could have gone full blown bloody
for sure.
and just make it the gore fest. And believe me, there were B-rated gore shit coming out in the late 70s.
A ton.
But I'm glad
he
kept it to that disturbing, get under your skin, a little bit of blood, and
like this scene here with him on top of her. And she's screaming and shit. It's like, and he's so vile and disgusting and it's great.
You get the message. You know what's happening.
You do. And again, today it's like, but think of the context. Think of the time. I know it's hard for younger people to imagine that, but it's crazy, like this was like, oh, fuck. I love the smoke coming out of his mouth too. The dad there or the grandpa or whatever the fuck he is.
Oh, that's right. She's like freaking out. She's like, that's not her husband.
Yeah, and it is because but she refuses
to believe Bob?
it. Bob?
Do we have another Bob?
Bob. I don't know. Is it Bob?
Is it Bob?
Let's find out. Yes, it's Bobby. Yes. It's Bobby. Yes.
But the question is, do we have a Paul in this movie?
We have a Paul. We don't have a Paul.
We don't have a Paul. Okay, but we have a Bob.
Cougar.
Cougar got his wings back, and he's going to go handle some business.
Jupiter, Pluto. I love that.
Bobby.
Hello, Bobby. Bobby.
Again,
hello.
very simple practical effect, but you're right. I like the smoke coming out of him. And,
yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, nice touch.
Yeah.
You could see Wes, from Last House to this. I love watching his beginning stuff because you can see him growing as an artist and as a creator.
Right. It's my baby. Get out of my way, bitch. He's just holding the baby. That was, oh my God. Oh, yeah. Oh. Come on.
Come on,
yes.
D.
Yes, the grandmother's got the broom. The grandmother is hitting. Oh. Oh, the guy just shot the grandmother. The guy just shot the grandmother. And now oh, D. Wallace goes down. Oh, D. Wallace goes down. Yes, I remember this now. Oh, and she stabs him in the leg with what looks like, and she gets shot again. Again, it's like all hell is breaking loose here, and there's this violence that's happening, which is great. That dagger almost looks like the dagger from The Rise of Skywalker / The Golden Child with
here comes Cougar to the rescue, or whatever his name. I'm calling him Cougar because he's the actor from Top Gun.
Yeah. He's coming. He's sprinting. He's fucking sprinting like Tom Cruise right now. And Sally Struthers, it's not Sally Struthers, but she's just screaming hysterically, which is fantastic. She is really selling that. Here they come. Is he going to shoot her? He's got to shoot her right in the mouth. He's got to do it. Oh, that would have been amazing. He did. Do you know how amazing that would have been at that moment if he pulled the trigger and her head just exploded? Oh, that would have been wild. I love gunshot sound effects from the 70s and 80s. They sound like fucking cannons going off. I love that stuff. Oh.
There's the porn star mustache.
Yes. Dude.
She's selling the screen, man.
She is. I'm at the scene now where the porn star mustache dude is turning over the dead body of D. Wallace here. She's dead. And you know what he's thinking right now?
What?
Fuck. I'm never going to find anybody as attractive as her. I'm just not. I'm just not.
It's true. It's true.
She was out of your league, Mr. Pornstar.
Wait.
Oh, he's pissed, though. Wait, is he pissed or is he hyperventilating?
He's pissed.
Oh, he's pissed. Because that's his mother, I think, there, right? Or his grandma. Oh, she's barely alive.
Yeah.
I think my grandparents had that pattern on their couch. I think that's what it was, maybe. The baby's gone. Oh, now is that his baby? Oh, it is his. What would be?
But yeah, I mean, well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. Oh my God. They're running into the nothingness.
The fan really quick in this movie.
What's that?
Shit hit the fan really quick.
Oh yeah. Like shit got real. And now he's
really fast.
And he's the Mr. Pornstar is yelling into nothingness. I like this pull back a little bit from the camera to show sort of the vastness of his surroundings. Got one light on him there. Well, no, there's a couple of lights set up. But it's good though.
It is. It's a simple shot.
Yeah.
It's sort of center framed, not really, but you're getting into that negative space, which is really cool. I like that. Showing
the moon. So justifying that the light is the moonlight.
And of course, you got the little clouds going by the moon and shit.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not easy to get in camera, by the way. It's a pain in the ass to get in camera. Even today, it's a pain in the ass to get in camera.
Could be an optical. Could be could be added after, but something they did. But yeah, no, you're right. Sally goes,
did you get the chance? Hey,
McRae, you paying attention, McRae? It literally sounds like he says McRae.
McRae.
He's going, okay, McRae?
Hey, McRae. It does sound like he's saying McRae.
It does.
Hey, McRae.
Hey, Dave McRae. What you doing, McRae?
Hey, McRae.
You be a good dog, you get some.
did you get to see the comet that passed us? Because I didn't.
A comment that passed us?
The comet that passed us recently.
Oh, the comet. No, I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I didn't even know there was one we were supposed to see. Coming to.
That's sad, right? As crazy as what's going on in the world right now, that we had a comet past us and it like got bottom news barrel.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
Like nobody knew about it.
If I was going to be in this movie, I'd want to be one of the fucked up.
I want to be one of the fucked up people too. Yeah. Absolutely, that would have been fun to play. Yeah. You want me to play crazy? I'll give you crazy.
Yeah, I would have asked
Lester. Lester's coming to save the day.
I would have wanted to be a guy that was like, hey, fuck damn. I would have played it. It's funny how he's part of it, but like when you watch this movie, I wonder why they chose to put him front and center on the cover. I guess because of his head shape, and he just was.
Look, I mean, it's the look,
I guess. But you could have put the other guy on the cover too. But yeah, I think that's what it is. It's the bald sort of. He's got almost like a bulbous head, almost, like an alien head. You try to run away. Sounds like one of my characters. I fixed Grandpa Fred good. Mr. Porns. I can't believe this guy's still alive. Somebody kill this guy already.
Dude, I can't believe the dude who I thought he died like years ago, and the fact that he just died, I was like, wow. Like the dude who was in the Ewoks not Battle of Endor. Was it? Yeah, Battle of Endor and Cocoon.
Wilford Brimley.
I like he just died. I'm like, dude, I thought he died like 20 years ago.
I was gonna make a social media post actually, and I forgot. I was surprised to learn that Brimley was only 85.
Right?
I thought he looked 60 like 40 years ago.
He looked like he was in his 80s in Cocoon. Not literally, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, they actually made him look older in Cocoon. They dyed his hair, put some liver spots on him, I believe, because he was only 49 when he shot Cocoon, but he was 20 years younger than all the other older people. But even if you look at Brimley in The Thing, because he was in The Thing, I believe, right?
The version of The Thing, right?
Right. His hair is his natural color, but he still looks older. Like he looks like he could be in his mid 50s in The Thing.
The TV movie Ewoks Battle of Endor, when he's playing Noah, he looks like he's in his 50s, give or take.
Which he is. He is there. But yeah, I always thought he looked.
Because he did Battle of Endor before Cocoon, and Cocoon. How old was he when he was in Cocoon?
Well, Cocoon was 86, I think, 85 or 86.
Battle of Endor was like 84, 85.
Oh, was it? Oh.
Yeah. Those two Ewok movies came out relatively close right after Jedi.
Oh, okay.
Very close.
Let me see. You could be right. I thought Battle of Endor was later, but
you might be right too. My brother watched that movie like it was religious.
No, you're right. Battle of Endor was 85, so he would have been like 49, 50, 48, 49. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. 50 probably. Yeah, it's crazy. When he was doing those diabetes, I'm Wilford Brimley and I got diabetes.
See, everyone kept saying that. I don't remember the diabetes one. I remember
he looked like he was 85 when he was doing those ads, and that was like 20 years ago.
That's what I was saying. Like the Quaker Oats videos, he was commercials. He did the Quaker Oats thing for a while, and he looked like he was in his 80s doing those. So I was like, when I found out he died and how old he was, like, God damn.
Exactly. I thought Wilford Brimley should be like 185. Oh, the grandma survived, and talking to the porn star who's still alive. Get rid of this fucking guy. This guy needs a punch in the head. Sometimes people need punches in the head. It's like Luke Skywalker in A New Hope. Luke Skywalker in A New Hope needs a punch in the head. He needs a punch in the head. In The Empire Strikes Back, he needs just one big punch in the face. He needs a punch in the face. But in Return of the Jedi, he's all suave. He's all suave in Return of the Jedi. He's okay.
He needs a daddy hug.
He's okay. That's right. That's right. He's okay. But in A New Hope, he needs a punch in the head.
Sorry, Mark.
We love Mark. We love Mark Hamill.
I like the mood lighting of the moon they're doing here in the trailer.
Yeah,
Really
it's
good.
Nice.
Obviously, it's sound light or soundstage light, but the moonlighting effect they're creating is really cool.
Yep. McRae, are you all right? It sounds like he's saying, McRae, are you all right? McRae, come in, you all right?
McRae.
He just doesn't sound like that. It sounds like, hey, you're all right, McRae, come on.
Hey.
See. Oh.
It's thundering again.
Is it thundering?
Dude, that storm earlier today was nasty.
You know
Although
what's funny?
it
I wonder if we have the same system because right now it's really dark out with clouds. I wonder if we're getting the same thing. I wonder if we looked at like the radar.
Like, getting it again.
Yeah, because it's been pouring all afternoon here. There was like a tornado warning up here too, which is rare, but the porn star guy almost at certain moments in certain lighting looks a little bit like Tom Green. Just in little moments. Just a little bit. Oh!
What's that song you sing? My bum is on my something. My butt is on my bum or something like that. I remember something stupid like that.
I remember, it's funny. I have a funny no, it's not really a Tom Green story, but Tom Green grew up in Ottawa up here in Canada where I grew up. And we myself and Bruce were very close to getting a show in a cable local TV show, because that's how he began, a show to go up against his show on Rogers Cable TV in Ottawa. We were very close to doing that, but it didn't go through. And then Tom moved to Toronto.
Sorry, that dude on the radio sounded like you.
Sounded like me? What the guy saying McRae?
Just how you do your voice is sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Well, this guy here? Yeah, you get spoon my damn fuck down. That's right. This is exactly what he sounds like. For those of you that are watching us but not watching along, he literally sounds like that.
Literally.
Bad mistake,
Dave's not even overacting it. That's what he sounds like.
I'm gonna kick your ass. You damn son of a bitch. Yeah, that's what he is. He's sitting there and he's chewing like cud, and he's like, yeah. You bitch your goddamn car. Yes, I will, you boy, man. I love that he got his jaw. He's got his jaw over here like this. He's going, yeah. That's how you do it. It's all in the jaw. Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if we're getting this. I wonder if we're getting. No, you wouldn't be getting it. Maybe we are though. That bits of that hurricane that's like coming through.
It depends. If it's going up the East Coast, we can get the remnants of it, because the remnants of it.
Shit, man, it was bad. Like that storm today was really freaking bad.
Yeah. Let me. What does it say on my phone? Does it still have the thunderstorm warning? Damn fucking right. Okay, at the moment, well, that's weird. It looks a little dark out there, but no, at the moment it seems to be okay. Yeah, we had a lot of rain last night. Oh, tomorrow afternoon we're supposed to get more rain. Fuck. I'm jogging after the show tonight. It's getting light out. Let's get started. Almost sounds like Harrison Ford. Drunk Harrison Ford. It's getting light out. Let's get started. Chewy, come here. Chewy,
get that hyperdrive fix, Chewy.
That's
I can only imagine.
Listen to this music.
I can only imagine Harrison back in '77. What the fuck is a hyperdrive?
Probably.
George, what the fuck are you having me say right now?
Well, as he always said, you can type this shit, but you can't say it.
It's true.
Listen to this fucking music.
Oh, this porno 70s music. I love it.
This is great. And the porn star guy's still alive.
Type 70s theme going here. Yeah.
I love, there's a,
Definitely sounds like an in-house studio band.
Yeah. That's funny.
And not a lot of music in this film, mostly ambient sound, natural sound, or just, occasional, sound effect here and there.
That's true. Yep.
Bubba, you with me? Bubby?
Lester and the porn guy are going to save the day.
I know. I can't believe it. So is this, so the blonde, is that the porn guy's daughter?
I don't know. I can't remember, man.
If it's not, he should just hook up with her. Oh, the grandma's dead. She looks really dead, too. Props to the actress, to the grandma. Oh, clean up your slobber, lady. Come on.
Maybe she died making the movie, and Wes was like, we got to keep it. No, that didn't happen.
No, maybe it did. Maybe it did happen.
Keep it. Keep it. I'm going for authenticity here.
That's right. That's right. She's dead, like Aunt Edna in Vacation.
The greatest death ever in movie history. Poor Aunt Edna.
You got to put her on the roof of the car and everything. It was so
Do you
great.
know what scene always so cracks me up in Vacation? I don't know why, because it's the dumbest scene, and it's not like really super funny. It's just the timing of everything. It's when Chevy Chase is like, no, he's standing out there. He's like, Rush! And Rush is like right below.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Rush! Right here. Well, there you are. Yeah, I like that too.
It's stupid, but it's just the timing. It's funny as shit, because Chevy can pull that shit off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, he's great. I love those vacation movies. He was very much my father in a lot of ways. My dad was like that.
And him
my dad
and
had a
Beverly
Chevy Chase
D'Angelo's
side.
chemistry is great.
Yeah.
Sparky.
You know, I remember, and this is true. It's true. I was looking through, when I was a teenager, my dad had a book in his office, a black book with all sorts of phone numbers in it. And my dad, being who he was and how well he was connected, had some interesting phone numbers in there. And I remember coming across Beverly D'Angelo's phone number. And it would have been for it's not like there was something going on between her and my dad. It would have been for for some interview or something. Something that was some reason, but I was like, oh, is that like the Beverly D'Angelo? I wonder. And yeah, it was. But my dad, like, I saw phone numbers of like Bobby Orr and
Bobby Orr.
Yeah, like it was crazy.
Legendary hockey player right there, man.
Some of the phone numbers in there, I was like, wow. And of course I never called him. I didn't want to be that guy. What's that?
There's Dave freaking out on the rock.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you fucking damn son of a bitch.
Oh, there's Lester saving the day.
Yep. And the porn guy, he's like fucking Indiana Jones now. He's got the sash over his shoulder and shit. He's got a walkie-talkie. USAF, United States Air Force.
Water cantina, or canteens, whatever they call them.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's like in a sash kind of way.
I had one of those when I did Boy Scouts for like a year.
Oh.
Yeah. Did it for like 1 year.
Yeah. You know what I did too? I did.
It was a thing in the 80s, your group of friends.
Yeah.
Like I had friends who were into it. It's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Last
we did
week.
Camping shit and fishing. We did a lot of fishing shit. We
did camping, yeah.
Because in Connecticut, we would go up to like, Maine to the lakes and shit, Vermont, New Hampshire, and we did a lot of fishing up there with the Scouts.
I didn't know that the Top Gun guy here was taking off the wheel of the car. So when he was gyrating his hips, I thought he was just doing some fucking weird thing. I didn't realize he was removing a tire at first. I was like, what the fuck, is he humping the car? The hell is this shit? What's going on?
That's right, Frank. I'm always pitching. I camp even to this day. I just don't, I don't do that Boy Scout shit stuff.
Yeah.
But I camp up in the Smokies, up in the mountains here, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Love camping. Love getting out there in the woods and just fucking chilling by the river and away from all the bullshit.
Yeah.
This dude's running with like all sorts of crazy shit around his neck. And as a runner, I can tell you, I'd be fucking huffing and puffing if I had that shit around me.
Oh yeah, especially for depending on how far you're running. There's got to be interviews with Wes Craven where he talks about The Hills Have Eyes. I'd love to know more about from his perspective. Yeah, I think that would be really cool. There's got to be something on it.
Die Hard, Drum 84, Killington, in that area. Maine, we went up to Rangeley, Maine a lot. More Maine than New Hampshire. We went to New Hampshire. Killington's Vermont. I'm sorry. We went to Vermont. My bad. Got the two states mixed up. My bad.
Mm. Yeah, he does look weird, that guy. I can see why you put him on the cover. I don't think he looks like he should talk like this.
Dude, you're gonna piss off someone.
I don't mean I don't mean like that. I just mean it's like how sloth talks, right? It's like sloth. Context, people, context.
Proper notch.
If I imitate sloth, that's how he looks like he should talk like that. It's the way he carries his body and the way he looks around. It looks like he should be like, or like one of those like dumb sort of, in the Looney Tunes where you got like the boss and he's like, all right, what are we gonna do, Muggsy? And then like his sidekick's like, I don't know, boss, what are we gonna do? Like that's what I mean. It looks like he should sound like that. Yeah.
Lester, man, Lester's doing a number on this dude.
He is. He fucking nailed him. Frank, I'm offended. We gotta put that in there.
I'm offended. Offended.
Oh, the back of the ankle Pet Cemetery style, I think.
I gotta tell you, that always gets to me in Pet Cemetery.
Yes,
when
it does.
When what's his name, Fred Gwynn gets his ankle slapped.
Yep. I think that's what happened here, but it looked worse, like the bone cracked or something.
Good for you, Lester.
That almost looked like James Franco. Just get it out here, man.
Isn't that where the Achilles is? Achilles heel? Right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Oh, man, that's so like, it's brutal.
You know what this this chick reminds me of the way she's dressed. There's an iconic poster from maybe the 60s of a woman. Someone help me out here, okay? She's dressed in that type of, fucking cloth type material, but it's an iconic photo of a real attractive woman. And what's her name? Didn't your boy there have it hanging on his wall in Shawshank? One of the posters?
Tim Robbins?
Raquel Welch. Yes, isn't there like a Raquel Welch iconic poster of her, where she's wearing like nothing but loincloth?
Yes, yeah.
Not loincloth, but you know what I'm saying.
No, I know what you're talking
something
about.
like what this woman's wearing who's running.
Yeah.
What is that she's wearing? What would you call that type of outfit?
I don't know.
Caveman.
Yeah, very sort of. Yeah, caveman kind of.
That iconic photos from.
It was like 1,000. What was it?
1,000 BC CM or 1 million BC.
Yeah, 10,000 BC. Or 1 million years BC. Excuse me. Why did it say that? That was written wrong. Some article I was looking at there just a second ago. Yeah, 1 million BC. Yeah. Yeah, look how fucking hot she is in the poster.
She is hot, dude.
Yeah, that's 1 million BC. I bet you when this movie came out, every man was like, all right, I'll go back 1 million BC. That's so ridiculous. That's so ridiculous.
Get him, Lester. Kick his ass. Lester ain't afraid.
Yep.
Lester's just toying with him. He's like, come get me, bitch.
Yep.
Come get me.
Oh, right in the neck. Yes, Lester. Yes. Love the quick cuts. Yep. It's a way to do it. Going for the jugular. Yes.
Lester
Terrible.
business in this film, man.
What's that?
Lester means business in this movie.
Oh, yeah. His name's
And
not
folks,
Lester.
just
We're just
for
calling him
content purpose, the reason why we keep saying Lester, Lester's a German Shepherd in Halloween. German
That's right.
Shepherd. We know it's not
Right.
Lester.
That's right.
Damn, Lester's got that Cujo fucking look on his face for a split second there on that
He went
close-up.
to town, man. I love the 3 little like scratches on the blonde's face there. It's almost like Freddy Krueger-ish. Okay, the guy running here just looks like he's out for a jog, but wearing all that garb. That's great. Sleeping over stuff. It's the guy that sounds like this.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun,
Yeah,
dun,
that's
dun,
right. Chariots of Fire.
dun, 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 dun. I mean, that's all I'm thinking of as I see him running.
Dun, dun, dun.
Right? I mean, it just like feels like Chariots of Fire should be playing.
The grandma, yeah, they cut back to her. Why are they still, are they, I forget, did they prop her up to lure them in, I think, right? Yeah, oh, they're using her for bait, I think, isn't that? Oh, there's a car starting.
She got that Bates look going on, man.
Yeah. Ooh, we got the car started.
The keys! The keys!
Oh, the keys! The keys! Oh, I see what they're doing. Right. Oh, that's nice. I forgot about this. I remember this now. Yeah. Oh. I wonder if that's just sped up.
MacGyver shit right there, man.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh my God, my mother had the exact same key. It's a Chrysler. It looked like a, anyway. Looked like that. Oh, he's pissed. Where's the gun? Does the Playboy guy have the gun? Are they unarmed? Oh, no. Okay, he's got the gun. I would just fucking go up there and shoot him right in the head. Is he armed? Has he got like a... fucking son of a bitch. Oh, I see what they're going to do. They're going to blow up the camper. Yeah. That's right.
No.
No? I thought they were going to... Oh,
Well,
they're not going to...
yeah, you'll see.
Okay, all right.
It's a trap.
Yeah. I better go inside and check out the grub.
Wow, this movie's like almost done. Damn.
Yeah, this one flew by too. What was the last one we watched that flew by?
It's not slow pace. It's
No.
the tempo was good. Like you said, it's edited well.
Yep.
The quick cuts are good. I
Yeah.
don't feel confused or anything when I'm watching it.
The Top Gun guy and the blonde, when they're dancing around looking at the explosion, literally reminds me almost of the Jaws 2 scene when the boat explodes. And I think the blonde is wearing red in that, and she comes up to the top of the hill and looks over. It kind of reminds me of that a bit.
By the way, we were wrong. That's not the Top Gun guy. I saw that in the chat like a while back.
Oh, it's not the Top Gun guy? All right.
Looks
Well,
like
we're
him.
just going to call him the Top Gun guy.
Anyways,
Yeah,
he looks like
he's fucking Top Gun guy.
Top Gun guy.
He's wannabe Top Gun guy. He was turned down.
Sorry, we're going for the guy who we really want, even though you look like the guy we want.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Here she comes with the axe. Come on. Female power right here. Oh, yes.
Hey, the female always was a strong one in these movies.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Good for her. She came on. She fucking lit it up, man. Sliced him and diced him. I love it. I love seeing that.
This dude should be called Joe Grizzly. He's
should.
a Joe Grizzly type.
Why wouldn't you shoot him? Shoot him in the head. Just because he looks dead, you got to shoot him in the head. You got to shoot him in the head, man.
You got to get a headshot.
So she wants away from that kind of shit. Oh yeah, there's somebody else. They got the baby. Oh wait, are the porn star and this guy gonna fall in love now? Oh! Look at him falling down. Great stuff by the stunt guys. Great work.
Yeah, again, for a $230,000 budget.
Yes.
They pulled off some shit. You
They
had
did.
a trailer explosion. Obviously, very practical, very simple effects, but still, for the low budget, well done. Better than some of the modern shit we get nowadays.
Porn star Tom Green just threw a rock at the guy's head.
This film was better than The Last Jedi, except for the silent thing. I will give Rian Johnson credit where credit is due. When the noise drops out of the basic
that's great.
Exploding,
That's great.
That was fucking dope.
Props to the sound engineer.
Yeah, right. It was really the sound guys who did that shit.
That's right.
From this day forward, David Thorson says he will be known as the Top Gun guy.
He is. From
this day forward, we're going to call him the Top Gun guy.
He's a Top Gun guy. Porn star Tom Green.
Porn star Tom Green. Sally Struthers wannabe.
Sally Struthers wannabe. Yeah.
D. Wallace can't hate on D.
No. D's just D. D's just D. Yeah. So look at this porn star wannabe. And you got this guy coming up. Oh no, he's dead. Ooh, the snake, the python. The animal wrangler has made it to the set.
One of the things I hate about going out in the desert, and even like here in Georgia, going out to some of the desert. We don't have really the desert, but these types of places. We have rattlesnakes.
I know what you mean.
Out here, man.
Oh,
and
it's
I'm
a rattlesnake. Excuse me.
Careful of where I walk, and making sure I don't fuck with them, man. Because if you cross their path, they'll fuck your shit up.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a rattler. I knew the moment I saw it because I've seen rattlers before out and about, and
Gotcha. I think that's why I could never live in Australia. No offense to any of the Australians who are watching this.
I saying that, dude. Like, what the fuck is that gonna do?
I don't know.
She got a nice ass though. There's my ass comment for the night.
Like a little ant can kill you. It's
bad teeth with nice ass. Put a bag over.
Are they bad teeth or are they fake bad teeth? Oh! They're fighting. There's a lot of wrestling in this movie. A lot of testosterone and wrestling. Come on. Kill Tom Green already. Enough of this shit. You don't need him.
Hans Gruber, you're right about the water snakes. Man, those things are... Dude, there's some areas in southwest Georgia.
Here we go.
The water snakes, those fuckers are bastards, man.
Yep. That's a big knife. He's almost in Tom Green's face. Oh.
She's going to pick up that rattler?
Yeah, she is. She is. I think she's going to take it over. But look at the size of this knife.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
That's not a knife. This is a knife. No, I think he says, no, that's a knife.
Something like that.
Yeah. Love the sound. And it's woven into the sound design, too. You can... Here we go.
Again, just the ways Wes is just building the suspense in this scene.
Yes.
It's well done. Again, for his second movie. I mean, really,
Oh, my God. The porn star guy's making it to the end. This is unbelievable. And she's watching Tom Green. Look at his face. Look at his face. He is intense. He is committed. That is commitment right there. That is commitment.
He's got that Oko Creepo look on his face. Like, girl, I'm gonna stalk you.
He does. He's gonna leave here and go and stalk some women now, I think is probably what's gonna happen. Fucking just. And that's it. What an ending. I forgot it ends that abruptly, sort of.
That's it, man. It just boom.
Interesting ending right there. Yeah.
Sally Struthers wannabe survives.
Yes.
The dude that's not in Top Gun but is Top Gun survives.
That's it. Yeah. No, he did the Tom Green guy looked like a creepo. Like I said, like he's gonna leave and go and do awful crimes or something like that. He just looked like a creepo.
He's the definition of what girls don't want.
That's right. Exactly. And it was good. Yeah, that is The Hills Have Eyes. Wes Craven's The Hills Have Eyes, 1977.
We hit close to 150.
Oh,
I said we were going to get there.
Wow, we almost had 150 people watching. Amazing. You guys are amazing. Hey, let's go over to the super chats and get these out of the way. You can send those super chats in now, of course, if you want to. We'll start answering your questions for a little bit here. Energy Sucker sends in a $2 super chat and says, do you like Hostel 2006? When I saw the first Hostel from 2006, I remember enjoying it, but I haven't seen it in a long time. What about you, Tony?
Never even seen that movie. It's one of those like movies that I've been meaning to watch and just never got to watching it. And everyone keeps telling me to, like Sinister. I've never seen Sinister. I thought I did.
Sinister's good.
And I mixed it up with another movie. I can't remember what film I mixed it up with, but they're just sometimes there's just movies that just kind of slip through and I don't get a chance to watch them. But yeah, Hostel, isn't that kind of? Correct me if I'm wrong, Dave. Isn't it like the gore shit like Saw? Sort of, kind of.
It's more of a torture porn kind of thing. Okay, that's right. Yep. I remember watching it in 2006. I think I only rented it because one of the girls in it I thought was cute or something. I can't remember now, but yeah, it was a long time ago, obviously. But yeah, yep. I've seen it, and I remember liking the first one. I never saw Hostel 2. At least I don't remember seeing Hostel 2. Anyway,
Sinister's got Ethan Hawke, right?
Yes, Sinister is really good.
Isn't it like something like
Sinister?
Isn't it has something to do with like a camera or some shit, or they see the dude through a camera or something?
Yeah, I won't tell you much about it.
I'm gonna watch it this October. I'm saving it for October.
The first Sinister, what I like, and again, there are some things in it that I'm like, oh, okay, they get a little, maybe a little too sensational for me. But overall, it's got great mood, great. It's got a. I'm not saying it's as good as The Ring, but I'm just saying that when you watch it, there is that you'll feel like that Ring-ish vibe. You know what I mean? For some of the movie, like it's a slower burn. It's well done. It's definitely moody and creepy for sure. The first one.
Cool. Yeah, I bought that not too long ago. They had a really good deal for it on iTunes for like $2.99. I was like, okay, I'm buying it. I just haven't watched it.
Nice. Diehard Drummer 84 $4.99 super chat. Thank you, buddy. Says 5th week in a row for catching live stream instead of watching replay. Cool. So here's $5. By the way, D&T, what do you guys like to have on a burger? Is that guac? Guac is in guacamole? Is that what you're talking about? Guac, Guac? I'm assuming maybe that's what you mean. For me, I'm sort of pretty traditional. Lettuce, tomato, ketchup, mustard, pickle, something like that.
Cool.
What about you, Tony?
No bread. I'm not a bread guy, except for pizza. That's about the only time I have any type of dough type bread. But
Same. I'm not really a bread guy either.
Yeah, but on the burger itself, I love me some Vermont cheddar cheese, and then a little bit, maybe like 1 or 2 strips of bacon, and then a little dash of like, a little splash of mushrooms. And
bacon's good. Bacon's good. Yeah. Bacon makes everything good. I'm just gonna have bacon on.
And then for the condiments, it's a mood thing. It could be like I'll always do a.
What if you're in a sexy mood? Like what if?
If I'm in a feel good type mood, okay, no.
No, you're in a sexy mood. You got a girl over,
That's fair, because sometimes I might just do mayo with that combination, or I'll do mustard and ketchup. Anytime I do ketchup, it's usually ketchup and mustard together. Okay. Or I'll just do mayo alone. I've tried mayo with ketchup and not a fan of it. It's usually mayo. If you're going to do mayo on something like a burger, you're pretty much committed to that one thing. I don't like mixing mayo with too many different things.
I gotcha. I hear you. Let's see here. Chucky Y Buddy. Chucky Y Buddy. Thank you, buddy. Says, hey, Dave, my bro, sorry I'm late. That's okay. It's not like I was, you don't work for me, so it's okay. Billy Joyner. Sorry, Tony?
I'm just watching the numbers.
Billy Joyner sends in a super chat. Thank you, Billy. Says, what's up, Dave and Tony? Great pick tonight. Tony, would you ever consider photographing haunted attraction characters? Love your style. Amazing, sir.
I don't know.
Not sure what he means by haunted attraction characters.
Yeah, like I'd be more specific.
Mean like the Haunted Mansion at Disney World or something? Or haunted attraction characters? Yeah, what do you mean, Billy?
Yeah, if you can at me in the chat room and you're still watching us, can you be more specific on that? Like, do you mean like haunted characters like Annabelle, I guess, would be one character to. She's a haunted doll.
I see what you're saying. Right.
Or because I am planning to do that, and Valak as well too. That's coming soon. I actually just casted the girl who's going to do Valak for me. Perfect. I mean, she literally. All we have to do is get a small prosthetic for her nose, very small, but she's got the exact. I'll have to show Dave the picture. She literally could look like the woman who played Valak in the movie. Very, very similar features. Tall, very thin, has that Valak-esque look. But yeah, if you could at me more specific on what you mean by haunted characters, and I'll give you a better answer, dude.
Amazing. And then Chucky Y. Buddy sends in a $2 super chat again, says, this is for you and Tony, bro. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Reese Wilson sends in a super chat and says, yeah, Dave, stay away from Australia. I deal with koalas on a daily basis, better known as drop bears. Oh, they're called drop bears.
Yeah, I heard koalas are like no joke, man. Like those little bastards, even though they're cute, but they're little fuckers.
Oh, and the claws on them. Holy shit. They jump from trees and try to take out your eyes with their deadly talons? Talons, yeah, perhaps, yeah. Wild, man. Yeah, no, I remember, I mean, obviously I would, I'd visit Australia, if I had the chance to, but I remember a couple years ago, my girlfriend and I were watching some documentary or something on deadliest, whatever, right? You know how you watch those things, and it's a lot of fun. And we realized we're like, 90% of this documentary is like shit in Australia, And I think there was this I remember specifically there was this story about how this kid goes into his backyard to play or something, right? Just goes into his backyard to play. And it's not like they're in like a desert or anything. They're just in like a suburban area, grass, cement, whatever. And he goes into his backyard and he gets bit by some sort of ant or something. And the ant is like, this big. And he starts swelling and he gets rushed because it's like one of the deadliest poisonous ants in the world. And it's like, holy shit. You mean I could just be chilling by the pool in my backyard and my life is in danger by a fucking ant? Oh my God. It's insane. And of course you see people who go into their homes and they see like these giant spiders and I'm just like, I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do it. I just don't think I could do it.
One of the big adjustments when moving back down to the south again, because I had forgotten about that in Georgia. The bugs in the south, man, they're no joke. I mean, they will, and anyone who lives down here, I mean, dude, you can live in a $10 million fucking home. It don't matter. You're gonna deal with the fucking issue. Everybody down here deals with it. It's fun, but after a while, you do get used to it. You know how to combat it and whatnot. But it does take a bit of adjustment because it's a lot warmer down here. So obviously, the bug issue is going to be that much more of a problem.
I remember when my girlfriend and I were in California in 2018, one of the things we wanted to do, and I say it was cool, but I say it with a level of respect, obviously, because of what surrounds it. But it was more cool, might not be the right word. It was more an interesting experience because of the history and because of how well that this is known. Myself and my girlfriend were able to, and if where to look, it's not hard. Obviously, you can go online and find all this. But we were able to visit where Spawn Ranch used to be. And, where Manson had his
orgy parties
and everything. That's right. Now it's no longer there. It burned to the ground years ago. It's overgrown. There's nothing there. But if you know what to look for and you know where it is, you can find the shit online anyway. So we found it and we walked into the off the path, off the road. We walked into the woods and we had to walk down this trail and shit to find there's like a cave or a rock where some of the Manson family had their photo taken for Life magazine, like back in the 60s or something. There was a rock where he used to sit and play guitar in front of fire, and all that shit is still there. So when I say cool, I just mean from a perspective of like, wow, like this
you're part of history.
You're part of history. Right. Exactly.
Trust me, I get that feeling when I it's not a cool feeling. It's like a surreal feeling when I was standing there in Texas, in Dallas, right where Kennedy was assassinated.
Right.
It's not,
yes, exactly.
It's not cool. It's like, but you're standing where something major and historic took place.
Exactly like that. So we were, so we're there, and funny enough, people have often asked, do you get any weird or creepy feelings? And both myself and my girlfriend were like, no, it was actually, I mean, it might've been the day, cause it's like, it only rains like 9 days out of the year in, California. So, I mean, it was obviously sunny, blue sky. It was very peaceful, calm, quiet. There was nobody else there. It was just kind of tranquil in some ways. But what is interesting, but the point I'm making is, obviously when you're out there, I mean, California is a desert state. It's not like Nevada or, Arizona, obviously, but it's desert, and when you're out there and we're walking along, there were many spots that were like overgrown or covered where we're like, yeah, we're not stepping there, because we don't know. There could be a fucking rattlesnake right there. There could be a scorpion. There could be who knows? We don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Yes, exactly. So we were very mindful of where we were walking. Like up here, you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. I mean, we have snakes, but they're just like your regular, garter snake or it's not like we got like rattlesnakes and pythons, you know what I mean? And we don't, we certainly don't have like deadly scorpions walking around, because it's like being in like, Connecticut or something, you know what I mean? Like that's, so, but down there we were like very careful. We had like shoes on, like shoes, not sandals or anything. And we had socks and, but you got to be mindful, when you're out there and you're like, oh yeah, I forget I'm in California. I can't just go trenching up this. Well, we went for a hike in what's the park there, in LA? Why am I blanking on it? The park, folks, the park where the observatory is. Why am I blanking on that? Where you can hike all through there.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Fuck, why am I drawing a blank on this park's name? Anyway, the chat room will let me know. In California, Los Angeles, the park where the observatory is. It's a big park. It's famous. I want to say, why do I want to say like, Griffith. That's it. Thank you, Peter Griffin. This guy's avatar is Peter Griffin. Griffith Park. That's right. So obviously you can go through there and you can hike, and it's great. It's great for hiking and shit. And we were walking through there and we saw this shortcut up this hill, and we were like, oh, and I'm like, no, because you can look, and in the side of the hill you can see the fucking holes where the snakes go. You know what I mean? And we're like, yeah, I'm not gonna walk up there. I'll just go the long way around. You know what I mean? Like, it's great. Like, you got to think of that shit. We're around here. You don't have to do that. Anyway, that was a long-winded explanation, but yeah, just really, really cool to see that. Again, cool from that perspective. It's like, well, yeah, like we also went, it's not there anymore, but where Polanski and Sharon Tate, where they had their house, and you see it in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but their house is like the house where they were murdered is there, but it was torn down, and I believe a new house was built on top of it, like on top of the stuff. So the house where they were murdered is not there. The location is there, but the house isn't there. I think it was torn down or whatever. And there's a new house there now. Magnificent, gorgeous, like way more massive than what was there before. But certainly, of course, the road is there. It's a private road. You can go up it where they shot the movie and everything. It's all there. And last time we were there, we drove up there, and just again that feeling like, wow, so like the Manson family would have parked right there. They would have walked up this street, getting ready to do the deed. You know what I mean? And they're very, you can tell that they're very, because it's a private road, you can tell that the people that live up there are very sort of kind of like, they know who lives there and doesn't. So when we rolled up, it was kind of like, who are these people? And we did sort of a 3-point turn and left, but we wanted to kind of say we were there, it's that kind of thing, It's crazy shit indeed.
Hey, Billy Joyner did follow up. So I can
cool.
answer
Yeah. Take it away, man.
He's talking about, he said, no, haunted house actors, most big haunts have main or marquee characters they use for promos. He's one of them. Okay, so I know what you're talking about. Yes, I will get contracted usually in the month of October actually, no, usually it's in September, because they need to have the promo photos ready for
October.
by the end of September, October. Yeah. So usually what happens is whoever company is running whatever haunted house here in Georgia, and there's usually a couple of them that I'm usually asked to, because I'm pretty well known in the area now as the horror photographer guy,
Right.
and whatnot. And they will, I've got 3 of them. Now, I don't know if it's going to happen because of COVID, but I am contracted to do promotional shoots. I'll take shots of their people, how they're going to be dressed up. It's usually not the big characters, though. They're usually some type of zombie or whatever. Because, got to remember where I live. Walking Dead is huge here. That's, zombies and whatnot. And that's pretty much it. It's in a, one room that they have decked out, whatever. I go in, I take the shots and send them their pictures that they put as part of their advertisement. So yeah, I've done stuff like that before, but not like Universal or Disney that does like Halloween night with like Haddonfield, and they did one with, Texas Chainsaw Man. I've never done anything like that. It's usually just whatever characters these people are dressing up as. And it's not during the actual event is taking place. It's usually a couple weeks beforehand.
Right. Gotcha. Big G, Super Chat. Tony, would you photo haunted Irish castles? I'm assuming, would you take photos of haunted Irish castles? I think is what Big G means. Yeah.
If I had to, I'd photograph anything that looks cool to photograph. I was out scouting some locations and I came across this abandoned antebellum home over the weekend, just out in the middle of nowhere. It was just like, okay, this is cool. Like, what the fuck?
Nice.
So yeah, if I was in the location like Ireland or something like that to take photos of those iconic looking castles, for sure. Absolutely.
Cool.
I'd love to do Dracula's castle though, but I heard that that's kind of a bitch to get to. The
Yeah.
real Dracula, Vlad.
Right.
The castle.
Right. Yeah.
The remnants of that still there, correct?
Yeah, I think so. I think it is. Yep, I think it is. Okay, let's see here. Sweet Tea sends the super chat. Thank you, Sweet Tea. Says, for the channel, my friends, be safe too. Thank you very much, Sweet Tea. Appreciate that.
You can't go past that too quickly. All right, you're gonna have to follow my lead here, because somebody just turned 41 over the weekend, and it was Sweet Tea.
Oh, Sweet Tea.
Sweet Tea.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sweet Tea.
I can't sing for shit.
Happy birthday to you.
She's joined us.
Sweet Tea, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. Big G says, D&T, do you believe Amityville was bullshit or true?
I think Dave and I have said this before many times. I think the real Amityville horror is what happened with the DeFeo family, and what Ronnie DeFeo did, and by killing his family. Now, obviously, it's very weird that this dude blew his whole family away with a shotgun, and nobody heard that. That's the only weird part to the story. That how does not one neighbor not hear shotguns going off?
That's true too.
But other than that, as far as what the Lutz went through, I mean, look, I never want to discredit anyone, but I don't know. I mean,
it's hard to say. It's
because Lorraine Warren really swears by it, that the house, and she's one of the few people that I give a lot of credibility to when it comes to haunted shit and reliability for source material, but. I don't know. I've been there. I photographed the Amityville house, and I've never felt, and I've never been inside, but I've stood in front of the house and taken photos. But I don't know. What do you think?
Well, there is a lot of, the problem with the Amityville horror is that there is a lot of evidence. There's a lot of circumstantial evidence to suggest that that there might have been something weird and unusual, but there's also a lot of evidence, even the Lutzes admit this, that a lot of, I don't want to not quote correctly, but I will say that I'm paraphrasing that there are things in the Amityville book and in the Amityville movie that even according to the Lutzes, the real Lutzes, was embellished for the sake of entertainment. So
of course, yeah.
and which is naturally, it's of course. But when you watch the movie, it's like, well, is this true? Well, what part of this is true? And did this actually happen? And was there something going on? I don't know. I mean, you look at there is some interesting investigation that was done on the Lutzes that is, you're like, well, that doesn't bode well. That's not really good. And,
it's like The Conjuring. A lot of what we saw that James Wan delivered to us was very embellished for Hollywood.
Of course.
You know what I mean? But it's based on true events of what happened in the Perrin farmhouse.
Right. Right. And it's, who knows, was George Lutz really, was his personality really changing because of some force, or was he just having a stressful time because they couldn't settle into a house because maybe it was old and things began breaking and who knows? Like, I'm of the mind, look, first of all, let me say that I do believe, and now I am going to say that, and this is really important, having a belief in something is not evidence of that something's existence. Evidence is something that can be measured and quantified objectively by one of the five senses. You can either smell it, hear it, taste it, see it, sight, touch, and touch it.
Okay. Yep.
So we can all have a belief in something. I believe in this. Well, that's nice, but that doesn't mean that it's true. You have to have objective evidence. Now, I do believe in some form, I do believe that there is enough circumstantial evidence that consciousness may survive death, or at least for a little bit, or there is something, there is a reality, or there's something strange that is in this world that we cannot see. That doesn't necessarily mean it is supernatural. It may actually be very much a part of our natural world, but we haven't been able to figure it out yet, so it appears supernatural to us. I mean, there were a lot of things like that throughout human history that would freak people out, that would seem like ghosts, right? And it's supernatural, but then we've come to learn, we've been able to decipher it and learn about it. And what was once seemed supernatural is no longer. Like, thunder and lightning, 5,000 years ago was probably pretty fucking supernatural to a lot of people. But we've since begun to, we know now that, well, no, there isn't anything supernatural about it, right? It could be that we just don't have the physics or we just haven't graduated to that level of understanding yet. But I do believe there is enough circumstantial evidence to suggest that there is more to this world than meets the eye. But I am also of the mindset that I do believe that more often than not, there are reasonable explanations for unusual occurrences. But that doesn't mean that there aren't some weird fucking shit that goes down. You're like, that's so weird. What is that? That's so strange. And maybe that was happening to the Lutzes. But but even George Lutz himself says the walls never bled and the floor and the floorboards didn't shake and so I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, the owners that live there now and that have lived there for years,
and the previous ones that lived there for like many years too, they've never experienced anything. They said
the Lutzes were the only people that appeared to experience anything, because the owners that moved in after them said there was nothing. There was nothing here. And the owners that moved in after them said there was nothing here.
Have you seen the inside of it on video tours? It's a quaint little home.
Very, very nice home. Yep, very, very nice. The owners now, of course, changed the crescent-shaped windows to sort of.
I wish they never did that. I believe that was such a great character to the house. But I understand. I understand why they did. But
yeah, they were trying to mask it so people wouldn't come looking for it.
They changed the number of the address too, but we know.
They did. Oh yeah, even with the
all you want. I know what house it is.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. But I look, I've been through certain things in my life where I'm like, yeah, I think there is something more. I really, really do. I think there's something more. But whether I believe, quote unquote, it's there's it depends on how far down the supernatural rabbit hole you want to go. Do you want to talk about consciousness surviving the process of death? Are we going to talk about demons and ghouls and goblins? I mean, Jesus, how crazy are we going to get? You know what I mean? So, but I don't know. It's hard to say. But like Tony, and Tony's right, the real interesting story that we do know happened, we can measure it, we can quantify it, which is really fucking freaky and weird. Right, is the Robert DeFeo murders. Yep. And what caused, and then the supernatural, right, and then the supernatural element you can add to it is, why did he freak out? Yep. Was it because
hear the gunshots?
Right, like that's cool. That's cool.
Well, not cool that people got killed, but
no. But yeah. The mystery. Mystery. Yeah, exactly. Totally. Energy Sucker sends in a $5 super chat, says D&T. I like how people just call us D&T now. I think Frank was the one that started that. Yeah. D&T, do you think Halloween 4 brought back Michael for the Friday the 13th slasher intent? In other words, he came back more violent in Halloween 4. Why? Oh, Tony's rocking the Halloween 4 shirt. Tony, Halloween 4 is
Halloween 4 shirt.
Halloween 4 is your favorite. So you start us off.
Look, who knows? It's 1980 whatever when they were thinking. Well, 88 when they made it. Yeah. But when they considered actually greenlighting it and going forward. Obviously Dave and I have said this many times, man, the 80s were the heyday of Freddy and Jason. Michael was nowhere to be found. Okay. And he comes in here at the tail end of the 80s with a very solid sequel, followed up with a fucking shitty sequel of Halloween 5. Again, I can't really speculate as to why. I'm glad they did, because it was the first Halloween movie that I was ever introduced to. I just said, it's my favorite sequel. It's one that I watch very frequently, as people who follow me on Instagram know. Yep. I can't really give you a solid answer as to why. I can only speculate based on, the success of Friday and Nightmare and the slasher genre that was going on. Just seemed like, hey, man, let's bring Mikey back and get him into the mix. Would you agree or disagree on that?
I would agree with that. I think that's true. I think, but I mean, yes. I mean, in 1988, and look, Halloween 2 from 1981 was stepping up its game because of Friday the 13th. So there's 7 years between 81 and 88. 7, right? 4 or 5. Yeah.
Yeah, 7.
Make sure my math is there in my head. 7 years where Michael was non-existent, where Freddie and Jason were tearing it up at the box office. Now,
like 6 or 7 films each. Well, not literally, but
No. But yeah, I know what you mean. And so yes, there would have been pressure that, this is what's successful. This is what works. This is what the demand is. This is what the audience wants. The problem, though, although Halloween 4 is a decent sequel, part of the problem, too, is that the slasher subgenre was on its decline by 1988.
Yeah.
And then by the early 90s, it was dead. The real sort of golden age or the hot pocket, so to speak, of the slasher genre was about 78 to about 85, 86.
I've always said the box office numbers for Halloween 4, of course, it changes everything. You would get a new Jamie, you would get a new Rachel. If Halloween 4 was released in like 85, the numbers would have been totally different. It would have been probably successful.
Very different.
Now you're at the peak of all of this shit.
Right.
You would have had an entirely different cast. So
it's a very good point. And yes, so I think that naturally, if you're making, it was that's what you do, because that's what slasher is at that point. That's what it is. And they're following suit to Freddie and Michael, Freddie and Jason. Of course, Child's Play came out that year as well, the very first Child's Play. So,
believe it or not, 88 was a pretty solid year for horror films, because within a very short time, like I'm talking months apart from each other, you had a Friday, you had a Nightmare, you had Halloween, you had Child's Play, the first Child's Play, all within like 6 months of each other.
That's true. Yeah.
1 year, man.
That's very true. Yep. Super chat from David Lee Barron. Thank you, David. Says, I know you're not a huge fan of the H4 mask, but what if instead they had Michael with the bloody bandaged mask instead for the whole movie? There's been lots of people that have talked about this. You and I have talked about this, Tony, and I've always thought that. I think going with that bloody bandaged face for the whole movie would have been really interesting.
It would have been a very interesting take. It would have been different, obviously.
Yeah.
And from a narrative point of view, it would make sense because the one thing, I mean, to me, I always felt like from a storytelling point of view, the reason why Michael picks that mask out of the store is that it reminds him of the mask he's wearing in
Of course.
the first film. It's a similar looking like mask. That's the idea. But having said that, in a reality world, that probably would not have been. And to go down the road of, okay, keeping like maybe just the eye holes here and his face bandaged up, that would have been fucking creepy. Also would have been nice throwback to like sort of Sackhead Jason too.
Right. No, I totally would have been down with it. I would have been down with it. Yep. I don't know how I would have felt. You see, it's funny. I don't know how I would have felt back then.
That's true, because I did like the mask back. I mean, I like it now, not as much as I did when I was a kid.
Yeah. Well, what I mean is and that's a good point too, is that we have no reference to be tired of the shitty masks. So in retrospect, you look at Halloween 4 and you go, oh, they should have. But if that had been the plan from the beginning, there may have been a lot of fans who've been like, where the fuck's the mask?
Right.
Why aren't you using the mask? Right. Because you don't have the perspective of the shitty masks. And I know, look, listen, Halloween H2O's mask has their fans. Part 5 has their fans. 4 has their fans. 6 has their fans. Resurrection has their fans. Rob Zombie has. I get all that. But, there's a general consensus here that no mask has been able to touch the glory of the first one. So, I mean, we sort of look at the 4 mask, and because it started off with just the bandages, in retrospect, we kind of go, oh, hey, wait a minute. That would have been interesting, but I don't know if we would have felt that way in 1988, because we wouldn't have had the perspective yet, but no, it's cool. It's interesting.
All I can think of is Michael with the bandage and Loomis going, Michael, why now? If you want another victim, take me.
Take me, but leave those people in peace.
Leave those people in peace, Michael.
Yep.
Michael, goddamn you.
Goddamn you.
He's gone. Crash to the garage.
That's it. That's it. Michael! It's great. It's great. Zach Axiola says, Dave McRae, with the deal that AMC and Universal made recently, oh, yes, I know. Does it give hope for Halloween Kills coming out this year to some capacity after all? Well, here's what you have to remember is I did skim through this. My understanding, and I don't know the nitty-gritty details, but my understanding is that this isn't a done deal. This is a proposed deal. But all the other theater chains would have to agree to it. So, and Cineplex up here has already said they can go fuck themselves. And Cineworld, I believe as well, has already said you can go fuck yourself. So it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because, the only way that would go through is that then Universal would only be allowed to play their movies in AMC theaters. You know what I mean? So no Universal movies would play up here in Canada because we don't have any AMC theaters up here. And, there's so many other theaters. Now, they're the biggest in the world, but they're not the only in the world. And Regal, I think, has already said that's not happening. So in order for this deal to go through, all the theater chains would have to be on board with it, and they're not. And as a matter of fact, they're really insulted by it. So, no. And for those of you that don't know what they're talking about, Universal, for some godforsaken strange reason, and AMC, I mean, that's a rhetorical question. You can dive into it and figure out maybe their justification for it. But they want to strike a deal. This is the Cliff Notes version, where instead of a movie, their movie, Universal, they get to pick, which one's being in the theaters for 90 days before they go to streaming. They want their certain films to be in the theaters for only 17 days before they go to streaming. And it's like, no one's going to, no way. There's no way. There's no way.
From this point of view, that just doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't, not now. It doesn't make sense right now. Fast forward 10 years from now when the model changes, maybe. But right now, and then of course, I think there's logistics in there too about who would get a percentage of what in terms of the, anyways, it's a whole thing. I've skimmed through it. I know sort of the Cliff Notes version, but I do know that other theater chains like Cineplex up here, which is big, Cineworld, Regal, have all been like, no, we're not going to agree to that. And if they don't agree with it, then that means Universal can't play their movies in any of those theaters. So they've cut their, like, it just doesn't, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, and as far as releasing it, there's no way. I mean, with the way this thing with COVID's going crazy right now, it's just, I mean, MLB's about to shut down again. I mean,
exactly. Halloween Kills, folks, will not be released this October. No. It won't be. Despite what hope you may still have, I'm telling you.
I get why. I mean, look, it'd be great, but just no.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not going to. It's not going to. Look, I mean, no, anything's always possible, right? But as of right now, no, it's not going to happen. Art Wishwood says, "Isn't Dave Irish? You mean me? Irish? No, I'm not Irish. No, I'm French and British. French and British. I know I have the last name McRae, but that's actually, again, that actually comes from my step grandfather, because my real dad's dad, who's my grandpa, who was French. He was Earl Pichet was his name. He was killed in World War II. So my last name McRae actually comes from my step granddad. So I wasn't actually related to him. So no, I'm not Irish.
I didn't know that. I thought you had a little bit of Irish or Scottish in you.
No, well, I mean, there might be if you go down the chain. You know what I mean? How everybody's got something in them. You know what I mean? But in terms of my immediate,
my nationality is Italian and Gypsies, and then we got a little bit of French Canadian, just a tad, just a little bit, a little bit of that weepy in us.
Yeah, like there could be some Scottish in me on my grandmother's side somewhere, maybe. But in terms of the direct, no, it's my mother was British. Like actually Brit, like not, but like born in, in England. And I can say fresh off the boat British. I can actually say that because my mother, and I can say that in regards to my mom, because my mother came to Canada in 1956 on a boat. So I can actually say that. Anyway, David Coe sends in a super chat. Thank you, David. Says, since both of you seem to have been pretty active growing up, I'm just randomly wondering, what are the worst injuries you each have had?
Broke my collarbone and got hit by a car.
Tony got hit by a car.
But I won. The car got destroyed.
That's right.
Well, I mean, I damaged it pretty good, and I only broke my collarbone. I messed up her front end and then broke her side mirror off.
That's what she said.
I Clark Kent the shit out of that car.
It's funny. I've actually been fortunate. I haven't had too many bad injuries. Well, I can tell you. I can tell you what my worst one was. Teenager, is about 16. I played hockey, ice hockey for 13 years, and I got hip checked.
Canada boy play hockey? No.
Yeah, I know. Canadian? No. I got hip checked. It was a tournament. It was during a tournament.
Those are cheap. Hip checks.
Well, it was open ice. It was an open ice. It was ice check. Well, I guess it wasn't really a hip check. It was just it was a collision. It was a clean hit. Hit. And that's one thing that pisses me off about hockey today. Watching hockey, seeing guys clean hit other guys, like great checks, and their teammates like, what the fuck? And they come over and I'm like, fuck off, guys. And you see this in the NHL. I'm like, guys, it's a clean hit. It's clean. You don't got to get all in the fight starts breaking out. And I'm just like, I remember back in the 80s when shit only like,
look at the Phillies, the Philadelphia Flyers, the Broad Street Bullies. Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
The shit they were doing.
That's, but like if it's a dirty hit, well then I get it. But if it's a clean hit, tell your fucking teammate to keep his head up. Yeah, no. You know what I mean? Like it's the game, man. I mean, imagine a clean hit in football, and every time there's a clean hit in football, somebody raises an issue over. It's like, that's the game. It's a clean hit. That's the game. You know what I mean? That part of me pisses me off. It doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes I'm like, guys, you're in the NHL. This is the NHL. Relax. Yeah, exactly. And it's clean. Anyway, this was a clean hit and not the NHL, obviously. I'm 16. But I remember as soon as he hit me, I hit the ice. And the pain just through my whole body. I was peeing blood. I'm making this very short. I was peeing blood after the game. I didn't know it was blood. Went back out there, played another game, scored a couple of goals. Insane. I'm playing with bleeding kidneys, and I didn't know that. So then I went to the hospital afterwards.
Balls of steel, literally.
Yep. Yeah, went to the hospital afterwards, and let's just say that was the end of my hockey season because it was like, yeah, my spleen, there was a contusion on my spleen, which of course holds blood, was leaking into my kidneys and blah, blah. So I would say that was probably the worst injury that I had because that was the end of my hockey season. And then of course, I had to wait to play hockey again the next year. But in terms of like sports and being active and things like that, I'd say that was the worst. Yeah, that was the worst. I think that was the last super chat. Let's see.
Dylan,
Yes,
you son of a bitch. I love that name.
Dylan, you son of a bitch. Oh, no, it wasn't the last super chat. There were more that came in. Sorry, dude.
That's okay.
A couple more came in here. I had to scroll down to see them.
Your question in a minute.
Yeah. Phil Mydeek. Phil Mydeek.
Phil might.
He thinks he's being savvy. $5 super chat. Hey, Dave and Tony. See, he just wanted us to say his name. Go ahead, Tony. Answer the other guy.
No, go ahead.
No, that's it. It just said, hey, Dave and Tony.
Is there any more?
There is, but I want to get to the other guy.
Dylan, you son of a bitch. Yes, I did finish watching The Last Dance. Love that documentary. It brought me back to my childhood. For those who don't know, I was a huge Michael Jordan fan. In fact, I still got almost pretty much in mint condition the 1998, June 22nd, 1998, Sports Illustrated, Jordan taking the shot. And then I'm reading Jordan's book right now, The Life on Michael Jordan, because it it revigorated my Jordan love. And I busted out the jerseys that I have had since the 90s, and I've got the jerseys now hanging up. And it was great. You know, I mean, there's nothing surprising in the documentary.
Sports Illustrated looked like you just picked it up this afternoon.
Literally. Well, dude, there's some Jordan stuff that I have that are I've got Jordan's rookie card. I've got stuff of his that are
Jordan's rookie card. That's probably worth a pretty penny.
Yeah, Jordan was like literally. If I had to pick, like someone said, who was your hero? It'd probably be Michael Jordan. Like, I mean, like my dad tells the stories better than I am, but my whole room, besides like my metal stuff and some of the girls' pictures, I had a ton of Michael Jordan shit all over my wall.
Cool.
Like, I was really into him as a kid growing up, and the documentary pretty much there was nothing in there that I wasn't already aware of. Like, I knew Jordan was, he was a winner. He was hard, and he was going to, ride his teammates hard, because he wanted to win. So a lot of the backlash that came out was just pretty much the 2020 PC culture. Like, you had to be living under a bus to not know that this was Michael's, personality. But
of course.
Aside from that part, the actual documentary itself, it was just really cool because I was reliving my childhood, because I saw all this shit. I experienced all this shit from the moment, he hits the shot with North Carolina to when he's picked by Chicago and his whole career from, that moment on. I was a Bulls fan. I wasn't really a Carolina fan, but I was a Jordan fan, and became a Bulls fan when he was drafted in '84. And so seeing all that stuff was just really cool. Then a lot of the stuff that was happening in the 90s and the Bulls winning the titles and whatnot. It was a fun era, and definitely have you seen the documentary? It's really good.
I haven't yet. I've been meaning to watch it, but I haven't. I actually just finished watching. I binge watched it, but it was only 6 episodes. There's a new series on Netflix. It's a Belgium series, and it's their first series. It's subtitled. You can watch it subtitled or you can watch it dubbed. It's really cool. It's called Into the Night. And
I've seen that.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, it's actually really well done. It kept my attention for the full 6 episodes, where I'm looking forward to the second season. And apparently there is going to be one. And it's just about, well, in a nutshell, it's about these people that are on this airplane that have to continue to fly into the night to avoid the sun, because the sun is causing people to die on Earth below. So if they land, they have to land and make sure it's nighttime, and there's drama between the characters and shit like that. That's a real basic sort of explanation. There's a lot more to it than that, but it's well done. And shout out to Belgium for your first Netflix series, because it's really well done. It kept my attention. I was like, oh, like I love mysteries and like that kind of shit. So I was trying to find another mystery kind of thing. It's too bad it was only 6 episodes. I wish maybe it was 10, but because I just finished Dark. I finished this season 3 of Dark last week, and man, Dark is like, woo, mind like melting, blown, convoluted, intense, complex.
That's on my to watch list.
fuck, it is like it is like you almost feel like you've graduated with a PhD in astrophysics. Like you almost feel like you become a nuclear physicist, like just leaving the last season of Dark. It's insane. It's insane. I swear to God, it's insane. But yeah, I highly recommend it. So yeah.
This is another magazine that came out that same year in '98 when he retired again for the second time.
Right.
And when ESPN was actually covering sports and not other issues. Jordan, dude, that's my. Who was your sports hero? Like, did you have a sports, like, was it Gretzky?
I can't say that I had it's whatever, funny, but. Yeah, such an American. Was it?
It's such an American.
Was it Gretzky? It is. It'd be like me. It totally such an Gretzky. Who else do you know? Nobody.
No, that's not me.
No, that's true. That's true because you live in Connecticut, so that's true. That is true. You come from a hockey.
Whales. I got the whales back there.
That's true. That's true.
Now,
that's true.
Now I'm rooting for the Islanders. So.
That's true. That's true. No, I can't say that I had a sports hero, but I will say that when I was a young teenager and a teenager, obviously my favorite Buffalo Sabre was Pat LaFontaine. Who's an American. Yeah, Pat LaFontaine obviously wasn't. Actually, I think I might have I got a photo somewhere I have to dig up of me and Pat LaFontaine, which is really cool. I was like 13 or whatever. Play? Oh, yeah. Like the day that I met him, my dad took me into the dressing room. Nice. And I was able to meet him and Grant Fuhrer and Daryl Hawerchuk, Dave Anderchuk, Buffalo Sabres of like 1991, 92.
Did you see him play in Buffalo or in Toronto?
No, I saw them play in Ottawa because at that time in 1992, Ottawa got the Ottawa Senators. Right. It was their first season. And my dad, during their first season, was covering them. So my dad covered all of the home games and all of the away games. So my dad would go on the road with the Senators. And so, but when the Senators played in Ottawa, my dad, if they were playing Buffalo, which sometimes would happen, right? The Sabres would come to town and my dad would get free tickets and I was able to go to the game. And I went to other games than just the Sabres, but obviously if it was the Sabres, that was like prime real estate. And my dad took me down into, my dad took me to the morning practice.
Nice.
And I was able to meet them at the morning practice. And Pat LaFontaine was only, of course, he looked so older to me, but he was only like 25 at the time. And I remember that night, this is how great he was. I don't know if he has social media. I should totally like at him or tweet him or something, that photo, and just kind of see if he probably doesn't remember it at all. It was nearly 30 years ago. But I remember I met him that morning at the practice. And then that night after the game, I was with my friend at the time, and my dad took us down into the dressing room, and Pat LaFontaine walked right. Now, granted, it was only, 12 hours later, but still, this goes to show you the kind of guy he was, because he was a classy guy, American. He was one of the greatest American hockey players of all time. And I think he's in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Yeah, for sure. So he walked right across, came over to me and said, "Hey, Dave, how's it going? Great to see you." Right by first name. By first name, yeah. And it was like, I was like, he knows my name. He remembered my name. You know what I mean? And signed a couple of things and took a couple more photos. Of course, my buddy is like, he knows your name. And I'm like, we're tight. We're tight.
Well, I never got to meet Mike, but I did see him play. My dad took me to see him play against the Lakers.
That's still fucking cool, man. That's still cool.
Chicago. But then I saw him play in the Garden, Boston Garden, against Bird in the Celtics of the 80s. Yes. And saw him play against the Knicks, against Patrick Ewing Knicks. Not only did I see Jordan play against the Knicks, but I also saw my dad took me to a Laker game against the Knicks when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was retiring. So I got to see Magic Johnson again, and whatnot. I got to see all these players in the 80s. I got to see Magic play, Bird, Jordan, Patrick Ewing. Yeah,
that's amazing.
I never got to meet them.
I don't recall getting to see Gretzky play.
I did see Gretzky play in Hartford. He played the Whale.
Yeah. I'm thinking like, I'm thinking, did my dad did I ever go to a Kings game in the early 90s? I don't remember.
Toronto?
No, because I moved to I moved to Ottawa. Like my dad moved away from Toronto in '86.
Okay.
And And I was too young. I don't remember going to any games against the Leafs in the early 80s. And I would have been too young to remember it anyway. But I certainly, in the early 90s, when I lived in Ottawa with my dad and they got the Senators, I mean, the Kings obviously came to town, but I don't remember. I do have Wayne Gretzky's autograph on a card. I do have that, which is pretty fucking cool.
Nice.
I should dig that up somewhere too. But anyway, anyway, let's move on because I gotta skedaddle here soon. But yeah, very cool. Like that's to see Michael Jordan. That's fucking cool, man.
My dad took me to, man. That's shit I'll always remember, man.
Oh,
and yeah,
for sure.
Seeing Mike play live it's
amazing.
I got photos. I got to share those photos. I got
you
shots.
do.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh
do.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That'd be awesome. Southpaw 82 says, "Hey Dave, I See You was a great film. Thanks." Oh yeah, the I See You movie I was talking about on episode of McRae Love. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's a really cool movie for sure. Energy Sucker, thank you, buddy. Says, if PG-13 existed in the 70s and 80s, do you think Back to the Future would still be PG or PG-13? And would Halloween and Texas Chainsaw Massacre be PG-13?
No.
I think Texas and Halloween would still be R.
Because of the killings.
Yes. Back to the Future, maybe. Maybe Back to the Future might have been PG-13.
Is there anything in Back to the Future that would warrant it to be a PG-13 film? There's no nudity.
No, but some of the subject matter, maybe, you know, yeah, maybe, like it's a maybe.
Yeah, see how like Lorraine's like flirting with Marty.
Right. I
Some of
mean,
the
maybe
innuendos that are going on there.
like, yeah, but maybe not. I mean, but no, I think
sensitive in the 80s too. You know what I mean?
no, that's just it. So probably not. And Texas and Halloween PG-13,
No, especially Texas, definitely not.
Yeah, exactly.
Halloween, I'm trying to think. I mean, even though you don't see any now because of the killings, even though you don't see blood, it's just the fact that you still see people get killed on screen. Plus, there is PJ Souls. You see a little bit of her boobs.
That's it too. Oh yeah, boob shot. Boob shot for sure. David Lee Barron, is it just me or does Michael move around like Frankenstein in H4? Oh, it's not you. He does.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, look, George P. Man, you know, I like him. I think he found his rhythm with Michael in 6, even though I hate 6. His groove, what I mean by just his movement of portraying Michael in Curse was a little bit better. It wasn't so stiff like
exactly.
For
shoulder pads.
You know, but again, having said that, the two scenes I love the most in 4 are the truck scene. Okay, you got to suspend your belief on how he gets on the truck. Plus the rooftop, where he is a little bit more fluid in his movement. But throughout the rest of the movie, you're right. He's very, you know, besides the Lawrence Taylor shoulder pads, as Dave just mentioned. Yeah, that's one character trait. I didn't understand why they, you know, when you look at Nick Castle's portrayal of Michael in the first film, he's just very fluid, you know, just very relaxed.
Yep. He's just walking. He's not. Nick Castle wasn't playing.
Just fucking walk, Nick. Just fucking
walk.
Right,
exactly. Nick Castle wasn't portraying a character.
Right.
He was just walking.
Dude.
In subsequent releases of the character, they feel they got to be a character. You know what I mean?
Warlock was stiff.
Right. Well, yeah. But nobody told him not to be, which is ridiculous. Chris Baber, thank you, Chris. Sends in a super chat, says, Halloween 2018 was saturated with so many nods towards the franchise. I'm hoping we don't have too many, if any, in the next 2 films. But what would you like to see in H Kills in regards to a nod? Well, I don't think this is, I think what I want to see, and then I'll let Tony answer, for me is, it's not really nods. It's character continuity. It's when you establish a character acting a certain way, doing certain things, and you carry over that character continuity, you're not nodding to the like, I mean, a nod, it depends on what the character is doing within the frame of the movie to, you know, to be a nod. But like, for example, you know, I always say this in Halloween 18 at the end of the movie, when Laurie is up in the bedroom, she's locked all the doors, she's in her room, she sees the mannequins, she knows that Michael has to be in here because she's secured all the other rooms, and he just bursts from behind one of the mannequins and attacks her. Okay, that's fine. That works. If I read that on paper in a script, I'd be like, okay, cool. But is there a different way we can reveal him that is more indicative of his character, what Michael would do. And I think maybe Laurie, with the shotgun moving backwards, she thinks she's got all secure, and then he emerges from the darkness. Is that a nod? Well, I guess in some ways, but that's what he does. That's his character, right? And it's happening within a new scene. It's happening with a new environment in a new context. It's not like for example, Michael throwing Laurie off the balcony and him looking over and seeing her gone. That's a nod to the first movie, right? Unnecessary, I just want to see character continuity. Michael stalking Allison in the street, you could go, oh, that's a nod to the first movie. Well, yeah, but that's what he does. Exactly. That's what he does. And so I want to
cut short.
Yeah, I just want to see more suspense, more character continuity, and again, that doesn't mean that every time he's on screen, he emerges from the darkness. No, that can get ridiculous. But having something like that happen once, or having a chase scene through the streets, bump, bump, whatever, it depends on how you construct it and how it's executed, but that's what he does, and so... that's just what I want to see. I just want to see more suspense, more nuance to the character of Michael, in the 18 film, when Oscar is there and he looks over and he sees Michael just saying, that's a new scene. We haven't seen it before. Michael in the motion sensor lights, right there, not there, all of a sudden, that's again,
playing with modern technology too.
Right, and that's playing into his more of that.
Yep.
Is what I want to see, because that's Michael Myers. Anyway, Tony, you?
Yeah. Again, I'm going to start off saying, y'all know how I feel. I love my Halloween 4, but I've said this on several videos now too. The one thing I never understood with the character from after the first film, really, why they went away from certain personality traits that define who Michael Myers is. And I'm going to piggyback off of a comment here that Art Wishwood says. Nick Castle was he's only 5'10" and he barely weighed $150 soaking wet. So he's a very thin, lean dude. He's not a big guy, but what made him creepy is he's standing by the bushes. He walks away. Well, why is he doing that shit? He's standing behind the car, looking 100%. Into the classroom. He's standing in the backyard. Mr. Riddle's old man, Mr. whatever his name is, in the backyard.
Mr. Riddle, yeah.
Thank you. Little things. He stabs Bob, and he's just looking at it like, this is interesting. Like those things. He sits up, turns his head, he looks. Like, we went away. That's what made Michael scary. He didn't need to be the big guy like Jason or Leatherface, and I always have this fucking debate with people on Instagram, because they're like, the version that I do, I stick to more the Nick Castle version, the very lean, very short. 5'10", 5'11" is not short, because I'm 5'11" and I'm not short. I'm not 6 foot either. But it's not short in the sense of, like 5'5". Okay, that's short.
Right.
But I do have that debate occasionally with people, that the initial intention of who Michael Myers was and the way John Carpenter portrayed it to us as fans, he's not a big hulking dude. But what makes him scary is all the personality traits that brought that character to life. That was obviously directed by John Carpenter, while they were making the film. And I'm sure maybe Nick Castle, I was going to say ad lib. He didn't really ad lib, but
he added his own little nuance to it. Sure.
To it. I shared it last night on the Instagram stories when Annie's trapped in the laundry room and the door just slightly opens and Michael's just standing back there. Again, even when you see him standing in the doorway, he's a short dude. He's not a tall dude. And then, like we just said, when he's walking across the street, just the way he's got that little swag going, all of that went like literally out the fucking window from 2 through now. And it's just like, why? Like, that's what Dave just said, hit it on the nail. That's what defined who the character was and what made him fucking creepy. And that, like, when you talk about callbacks, okay, that's not callbacks. That's the character. That's who Michael Myers is. A callback is like the bathroom scene in the 2018 film that we've seen in 2 other fucking films already. That's a callback. The personality traits of who Michael is, that's what we should be seeing. And yes, I agree with Dave with what you said with the motion sensor light. Like there were little moments in the film, I will admit this, in the 2018 film, that we saw some of that again.
Right. Right. And when you do that, when you pay attention, when you allow the character of Michael Myers to flourish, in an environment and in a sequence of events that you're being true to his character, you don't need to have as many callbacks. You don't need to go, remember this, remember this, remember that. It's fine to have one little thing, but you don't need to rely on it because you're creating new stuff, but you're being true to the character. And then you allow new iconic moments or new scenes with that character being that character to potentially happen. So yeah, no, I agree with that. Okay, I got to get going. So let's get these last two here. Harry Muff.
Harry Muff.
He's going around and he's probably got about 9 different accounts. Keep up the great work, guys.
And Hans Gruber, I agree. Steve Dash was not a Hulk either. Jason was, he was not intended to be a big guy
That's true
either.
too. That's true too. Chris Baber sends in a super chat and says, Tony, hey brother, speaking of sports, sorry, people in the room, thoughts on the Tyson Jones fight coming up next month? Mike Tyson.
Oh, he's fighting next. I thought he'd be like training for a year before.
No, Mike Tyson is fighting an exhibition with Roy Jones Jr. next month. I think September 12th or something like that.
I mean, he's pulling out Rocky Balboa here, man.
I'm down.
Do a movie like that.
I'm down. Let's see it. I'm down. Let's do it. I love Tyson.
Hey, man, if he feels he's got more in the tank, why not? What the hell?
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Just stay away from the ears, bro.
Exactly. Hey, folks, that's going to do it for Tony and I on episode 81 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. I want to thank my moderators, Frank Riker, Tabitha Short, Darren Sands, and Jason Knight for doing what you guys do. Tony's a moderator, too. Tony, thank you so much for doing what you do. And, that'll do it for us. Tony, any last things you want to say here?
I'm glad you guys joined us, and I appreciate you guys for supporting us with this 70s theme that we're doing this month. Next week, we're doing Carrie.
That's right. That's going to be a good one. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that one. I will be back tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time for McRae Live. Don't forget, the link to the Indiegogo campaign for It's Me, Billy is in the description. Anything you guys can help out with is greatly appreciated. There's 30 days left. Let's try and get as close to our budget as possible. So yeah, next week's Carrie. All right, that's it for us.
The 70s version. That's
the original Carrie.
Not the remake.
That's right.
That's right. The whole month is the 70s, guys.
100%. All right, we're out of here. Cheers.